Oh, darn it. I gotta try. I should try that again. All right, hold on. I'll be right back. Yes, Sensei! Students, are you ready to be taught how to draw better? Yes, Sensei! I should write a script or something. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Blacklist Universe. It is once again Art Dojo Night. It is Critique Night. No mercy. Mercy is for the weak-willed, and the whiners. There are no whiners in this dojo. Is that clear? Yes, Sensei! If you have a piece up for critique, it will be critiqued. Do you understand? Yes, Sensei! We will not broker. We will not broach. We will not. No, that's not the right word. We will not put up with people complaining about critiques when they submit their art for critique. Is that understood? Yes, Sensei! Are all the other teachers late? Yes, Sensei! Am I therefore here by myself with Max? Yes, Sensei!
Believe
it! I love the pain. Is it time to see grown artists cry? Yes, Sensei! Indeed. Just remember, you gotta work hard.
From now on, I'm gonna work my butt off to become Hokage.
None of the links are working for me, says Matthew Weldon Art. Did you try the Facebook link I sent you? Because Twitter is giving me the Twitter is overbooked or whatever that argument, whatever. You remember, like last week, Twitter decided to throttle their network.
Yes, I am.
Perhaps for political reasons. I could not tell you for certain, but it seems to be happening again. Boy, that is so bright in my face. Is Twitter still shut down? It is shut down. What? Was it shut down earlier? Because I just went there to go post the link to my other senseis. Yes, sensei! And it wouldn't let me post, so I sent it out to the Facebook, because the Facebook is not throttling.
Believe
it! So, anyways, I'm on time this time, right?
A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
All right, let's say hi to the people that are here. Do like and share while we introduce Sensei Swelden McBuff. Something. What is it?
Buffmeister.
Buffmeister. Swelden McBuffmeister. All right, Booster Kiwi, hello, a fuzzy creature. Seems like you had a conversation while we were waiting for this to launch. Zach Richmond Calliope at Nighthawk Warrior, some big jerk. Arlene Adkins Zell, Andrew Hayes, hey, Calliope at Night, the Iron Luke, Colonel Irwin. Booster Kiwi says, "Hurt me, Mike. I deserve it." Anybody else here? This space for rent, jalapeno milk, and I should go get my my phone and try to hit up Elliot again. Sorry, I just ate a nice big beanie tostada beanie. It's like beefy but with beans. Beanie tostada.
Oh Lord.
Lots of like 3 different kinds of cheese on it. And now I'm going to drink this tiny glass of white wine while I enjoy crushing the dreams of my students.
Scotch wine.
Are you prepared? Are you prepared, Weldon?
Do
your best to do your worst.
I keep telling myself I had big plans to go look at everything ahead of time, but I haven't seen it. I did not venture over there, so it's gonna be all.
Oh yeah, that's right. I need my pad. Hey, you want to see? Before we do this, want to see how far I got on my? Oh, have you seen this?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
The finished product? Yeah, no, I watched.
It's not.
I did.
It's not finished. It is not
So,
finished.
are those
But
inks? Did you
I've
start
added
making
the
already?
penciling, and the rendering, and we don't have a costume design for that character, Matt.
Oh, well, let's do that tonight then.
All right.
I have it in my head. I have a number of things in my head, but
Well, it doesn't do anybody any good in your head, Sweldon. So yes, I did remove the hand from the crotch. Pointing that out, you jerk.
crotch clutch. Oh yeah, that's a good move. Crotch clutch.
So because of Matthew's insistence on doing everything to the best of his ability, and made my cover look like a piece of trash.
I gotta tell you, I am so happy. Yeah, like that. What came out last night on that stream, man. I mean, don't you feel better about all that? I couldn't be happier with your layout.
Oh, you mean this double page spread?
Mm-hmm.
Were you here?
Was I?
No, you weren't here. You were just. Oh, you watched it today. That's right.
Did I?
Did you watch it? Were you there watching last night? You jerk.
I wanted to see if Mecha's trick would work on me, and it didn't. It totally didn't work.
Bastard.
Cracky.
Oh, you know what? He probably had the wrong name.
I mean, I watched. Well, you dropped it right when I had left to go make my deluxe grilled cheeses, and so like, I mean.
All right, I'm gonna open up art critique submissions. I'm gonna start tonight from the Discord, and then I'm gonna move to the Facebook, and then to the tweeters.
Oh crap!
So
there's some Discord submissions.
Yeah, open original, and then copy image, and I'm gonna open it up on the old Wacom tablet with the cool Lonestar sticker. Check that out. You know you want one of those.
Oh, I saw you flash those last night. I didn't get a good look at them. That's the first time I ever seen them.
All right, so let me pop this bad boy up here, which is somehow tangled up with the.
Wait, does the drawing actually appear on that screen, or do you look at the screen and draw with that?
Us.
Oh crap!
He's synthetic. It doesn't work if you are on an alt, says Jalapeno Milk.
What if you want to draw long ways? They don't really give you like a little stand to draw long ways. That's kind of bunk.
A stand to draw long ways?
You can only draw landscape.
Right. I mean,
I critique.
if you want to do like
that. I mean, that's actually not bad. That's how a lot of artists draw. That's how the G draws. The Kim G.
The Jung Ji.
Yeah, he draws complete. He draws on a completely flat board in his face sometimes. Anyways.
All right. Well, we seem to be low on teachers. I'm making my way.
Downtown.
I'm going to set this one out. Says Gary Shipman. Gary, are you launching your campaign tonight?
Gary's homebound.
Andrew Hayes says, "Will you be teaching about barrel-chested problems today, Sensei?" Sensei? What is this, Sensei?
Wait, I just made it.
I'm on full critique mode, so I'm
like a
spelling.
It's like the candle company. They make and sell candle scents.
That's not like a census or something. All right, here we go. Here's the first one. But before we do that, let me call Elliot.
Yeah, man, you really lit me up last night and rung me for like what seemed like 20 minutes.
You ignored my phone call last night.
It was so long. You wouldn't let me.
You ignored me. Oh my goodness! Why would you come in?
No, I'm just going off the stream.
I already know how to do it.
I wasn't anywhere near my computer when that went down.
Sensei Fernandez, you are late.
Yes, Sensei!
I don't know where the thing is to hang up. Oh, there it is.
Did I just hear him? Did he answer?
Yeah.
Elliot's inbound.
Elliot inbound. So we'll have 3 senseis. Siege. I don't know what's going on with Siege. I guess that link didn't work. I guess Twitter's not really working.
Am I mistaken? Did you
Test.
Did you talk about Ellis coming in to crack down on some illustrations?
I did not. All right, we got some more stuff coming in from Twitter as well. Well, let's see. Sold. Make a salesperson. Some people are just too funny for words. I'm going to learn from your critique on my previous IG-88 submission, which also has a lot of detail on the reference source. I've been challenging myself to draw what I see objectively to correct my distortions, but overly detailed sources are taxing that challenge. All right, well, we may or may not get to the redo on the IG-88. I'll sit in for Gary as good cop, totally not a jerk in real life. You know, the idea here, and you know, we kind of give Siege a little bit of wiggle room because she's one of us. But the idea is for professional comic artists to critique. Like, we could bring Kevin Sharp in. Kevin's got a 27-year, what do you call it? Career? What's that word about how long you've been in the industry?
I feel like I got like 2.8 months.
Yeah, right. How many books do you have under your belt?
Well, I don't know. I don't recall. I don't remember those. Man, I actually pulled out some drawings the other day. I don't even remember drawing. I don't remember a thing. Do you ever have that happen?
Oh, what? Not remembering something I drew?
Yeah, it's happened to me a couple times. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how you know. That'll be the defining professional label then.
Right on. Well, as soon as Sensei Elliot gets here, we can tear into this illustration. So let's not dwell on it until we get there. Seniority at Blacklist Universe. Seniority. I like to bring in Siege sort of as our Paula Abdul because she's nice to everyone.
What?
We need a Paula Abdul, although apparently we won't have one tonight. Unless Matthew Weldon wants to put on the wig. And
I thought I was Paula.
You're Paula Abdul?
I mean, I was hoping. I don't know. Anyway. I just I like to point out I have no reservations about pointing out where I think I would do something differently. But I definitely like to point out and encourage areas where I see where artists are doing well, so they can so that can confirm it areas where they're strong and they can keep going in those areas. It's hard for an artist to just try to take what we don't proverbially crap all over and put that in the good category.
All right, I'm going to try and copy and hold on a second. I just need to open a different channel video source here. I didn't bother doing all the details on the like the tags and the this and the that. So
Tag.
That playlist tutorials done. Please like, subscribe, share. Done. So in the description it says, join professional comic book veterans as we critique the artwork of students who volunteer to have their souls crushed.
Whoa.
Please like, subscribe, and share. And then let's see, Shadow of the Conqueror. Please do, everybody, get on over and sign up for the Shadow of the Conqueror mailing list, which I'm putting in the description. Shadow mailing list. I should do that for Lonestar too, but it's already so much information right there. All right. Is Elliot here yet? No, Elliot's still not. What is he doing? Taking a shower? I Hate Cecil says, should I have read Bigfoot Bill and Nexus to fully understand Monster Hunt 2?
I don't think so.
No. Because I've read Bigfoot Bill and Nexus, and I still don't fully understand Monster Hunt 2. Just kidding. Anyone see the new update on the winner of D&Q on Discord? No. Not I, McFly.
From last night? Who? Wait a minute. The other night?
Monster Hunt 2 is beyond human understanding. Correct. Correct.
Did Armoron win the other night?
I don't know.
The Lady Death channel?
I don't know. But let's go ahead and share my other screen. So for those who may not know already, Shadow of the Conqueror, the collaboration with Shad M. Brooks, better known as Shadiversity, is done. I've finished pencils, inks, waiting to get a new colorist. Have sent the files to the letterer. And so, yeah, this thing will not be late. Here's Shad.
I'll be right back, Mike.
Lots of weapons. All right, brother. Here is me. Here is some of the art. Also, link in the description. Link is not in the description. LoneStarComic.com. LoneStarComic.com. I know I'm not really pitching the book right now. But if you go to LoneStarComic.com, you can get in on the Kim Jong-gi cover for Lone Star 2. We are also, there's some pages for Lone Star 2, or some images from Lone Star 2 anyways. And then you can also get, this is the same, I'll just be using the one mailing list for Lone Star and Monster Hunt, even though they will be two different campaigns. So if you would please go sign up for that, you will be able to get some very cool secretish tiers or discounts available only to people on that mailing list. Is that understood?
Yes, Sensei!
Wow, you guys took way too long. Is that understood?
Yes, Sensei!
That's better. Hi, Elliot.
I am not happy. I just woke up from a nap, and you will feel my wrath.
There's a way. There's a way.
Ah, stupid. Anyway, what's up, y'all?
You're late.
I am late.
Wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
That's right. I'm not late. You're late. You're late for realizing how important I am.
We are late for last week's episode. Wait.
What? No, we're early for next week's episode.
We're early for next week's episode.
Right.
Alrighty then.
Sure. Okay.
We got a decent sized plate tonight. I put up the post pretty late, but you know what? There was some stuff from last week we didn't get to, and on the Discord, and there's a new piece on the Facebook How to Draw Comics stream. So we got lots of stuff. I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't. I just pitched this like Shadow of the Conqueror by saying Shad's writing it, or actually I'm adapting it from his book. So I actually am the writer on the book, adapting his novel.
Word.
But all I've been doing is saying, this is Shad's book, and I'm drawing it. Go buy it. Look, Shadow of the Conqueror. It's a really, really cool story. I hate to use the term fantasy because it's not really like Lord of the Rings and blah, 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 and Game of Thrones. It's not like medieval fantasy stuff, right? It's sort of a 16th century steampunk, but not steam. It's like there's a whole new sort of physical dynamic about how this world exists. It's on a continent that floats in an endless sky. There is no planet. There are special things that happen, like if you they've gone through this night of terror where there was no sun. See, there's endless sunshine here, right? There's a sun, it's always there. But there was a time when there was no sun for a while. It was called a night. I think it was called a night. Mike does a really good Shad voice. I don't. And when there's darkness, when there's no light, so light is like the goodness. People become these ghouls. They become these things called shades, and they still exist in this world, and it is still a problem at times. But there was like this night of horror where the shades, and I don't mean night as in one single night. I mean there was a time where the shades were like growing and everything, and then this order of knights arose. They're called the Arch Knights, and they arose with the power of the light to fight back the shade, and then blah 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 blah. Anyways, this is really rich history behind the whole thing. This one guy was a war hero, and then from rising from being a war hero, he ended up becoming the commander. He ended up becoming the emperor of this world, and it was like he took his ideas and they kind of corrupted him. And it's not like he didn't have good ideas, but he also had very controlling. It's sort of a absolute power corrupts absolutely thing, because he ended up becoming just a really, really horrible person. And so he escaped as the Arch Knights turned on him, and as the world turned on him, to overthrow the dictator. He actually escaped. They thought that he died. He existed for the next, 30, 40 years in exile, pretending to be somebody else, a little tinker. And then he's at the end of his life. His legs are so weak he can barely carry himself very far. And then he goes to kill himself by jumping off of the edge of this endless sky continent. And instead of dying, the light gives him another life. He's basically reborn as a 17-year-old kid, but it's still him. He has all of his memories, everything's intact, and he has been repentant of this life that he led, and so the light, God, basically gives him this other chance. And then so now the story of Shadow of the Conqueror is how this man, who was basically, Napoleon or Stalin. No, this is all background, James. I'm just getting to the very, very beginning of the story of the book.
You know what? You should work with your son to put together a nice video that introduces this. That's much shorter.
No, I think it's good. My question is, but I think I should ask you this offline. But this trick that he develops, does this mean he can live forever, or was it like was it the light's choice? That's my question.
I'm not talking to either of you anymore.
Uh-oh.
It's going to be a very short stream. So I don't know the answer to that, Swelden McBuffmeister.
That's a good. You can explore that later. I like it.
But yeah. So it's basically, what if the man who, who was this horrible, treacherous dictator had a second chance at life, and could be the key to saving the world from, like he becomes the hero, even though he's this horrible. It's kind of a weird twist on, like on the the repentance, the saving the character. The character starts out. Anyways, it's really cool. It's really cool.
I like to say it was a leap of faith, but it doesn't really start out like that. But it's awesome. It is awesome.
It is cool, and the art's by me, the writing's by me. I took Shad's story. We had to change some stuff up to give the first arc. It's an entire finishing story, right? So it's not just like, hey, let's grab the first blank number of chapters and turn that into a standalone graphic novel. No, we changed a few things. We introduced a couple of characters that flesh out this story. So the whole first, it's a full meal. The first 48-page graphic novel is a full meal, and then you're like, you sit around for 6 or 8 hours, and you're like, time for breakfast. So that's when we're gonna have to get the next one done too. So Elliot, Macho Man voice. I'm gonna go turn the AC on because it's getting ridiculous in here.
You got
Yeah, that's right. Coming at you live, yeah. I got my mask on because I wanted to mask my expression. I didn't want to seem so obvious. Like, say things that's gonna make you cry.
Don't telegraph your judgments.
No. I will keep my eyes stoic. You ready to burn? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Burn you.
I want to let's see. I want to share this out. Copy the link. Everyone, please do like and share this to wherever you can as soon as you can.
How angry I am. Did you see how angry I was, Michael?
I know you're a very bitter child. And then I'm going to copy this and I'm going to drop it on a couple of Discords I'm on. And see if we can bring in some new people. Siege needs the link. But dang it, I just copied a different link. Can somebody drop the link in the Twitter?
I will find a way.
Elliot's murderous jerkly expression is scaring me.
Jerkly?
Scary? Is it intense to you?
Very super intense.
All right.
I'm trying to be as intense as possible.
It is.
I gotta find this thing. Where's this thing at?
I'll try to.
See glass.
How do I do this? Do I copy this?
Maybe after I finish my bowl of cereal.
I think I did something wrong. Oh, wait. Wait. I should do this.
There's a way. There's a way.
All right, I'll do that.
There's a way.
Wait, what am I sending?
You know what? I'm dropped. Oh, no, wait, that's not the right one. So you got Veritas, Rocket Pool, Mr. G Ship. No, I guess that's it, huh?
Where's Twitter?
Where's
the thing with the little bird? You know what sucks about Twitter? Twitter looks like it's trying to be nice, but it ain't.
Twitter is hell.
Twitter is hell.
All right, I'm doing it myself. You guys are all terrible.
I'm on Twitter right now. Hold on.
I already did it. It's too late. I did all that other stuff before you guys could do it. Even though I asked you to do it before I started doing the other stuff.
Dude.
How do you copy links?
Oh,
I think I figured it out.
Copy links?
No, hold on. I think you have to right click that.
How long have you been on the internet, Matthew?
No, it comes up on Facebook like that little button.
Yeah, there's an image. It doesn't really come up as a link.
Yeah. I'm with
I think I figured it out though. Hold on.
I just sent her and I don't know if she knows. Anyway, I'm back to being angry again.
Siege is on art sabbatical.
No, she's not. She wants the link.
Oh, she does? All right. Hold on.
Yeah, she's right there. See?
Wow,
There's Siege.
Dang you.
Well done with that clip.
Welcome, Siege, for being here.
Didn't even see it coming.
I see it coming every time now. Now I don't even get the feed is broken. I get
Good evening, senseis. We have a full house of senseis now. We
Yeah.
can begin to tear apart our first victim. But first,
Oh,
Why
Elliot,
did
you
we
look
do
like
this?
you need some care. What's the
Now, let me
aim?
tell you.
lay hands on
ready
Elliot,
for
everyone.
Just caress him.
Ah.
Head pat.
Booster, you are so impatient. Head pat.
Look, I'm ready for the
Dude,
for the
that's funny.
action
It's like you're
tonight.
petting him. Pet him. Pet Elliot again.
Now
Are you ready for the
His
intensity?
hand's so big.
Are you ready for the intensity that is my critique?
Yes, Sensei!
Very good. Let's go.
Yes, Sensei!
How about these teeth of
Whoa.
intensity?
That bottom row. Hold
Y'all,
it.
I bet he doesn't even play that once when I'm not here.
I need a screenshot, a reference of teeth. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, I got
Zoom
it.
in. Get to
I
zoom
got
in.
I
You
got,
got
it.
it?
Yes.
This is what I do. Arr. All right. Or I can talk like this, like Storm Shadow.
All right. Let's see. Let's hold on.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
It's true.
Let's see what I did. I whipped out the art.
All right, blowing it
You're
up.
so
now.
clever.
See that? That was like bam. Bam.
Way to
I'm
go,
ready,
Mike.
Siege.
I'm so
I'm
proud
ready.
of you.
Thank you.
You
Siege.
ready?
Tomorrow when
So ready.
Are you ready?
Yes, Sensei!
Bold
All right,
souls
here we
ready.
Here we have a storytelling page from the Discord. No names necessary. We are not interested in who did it. We are only interested in critiquing the artwork itself. Elliot, did you have some ground rules you wanted to lay down before we move
These
forward?
are personal ground rules. All right, personal ground rules. If anybody knows the age of the person, and just in this case, this looks more developed here. But like if you're showing me something that I might confuse, let me put it this way: if I don't think it's ready to be critiqued, you're gonna get a pass. You're gonna get the word "pass" from me, and it might scare you.
Which will be completely ineffectual for the rest of us.
Oh, I want to do that too.
It's gonna be scary to you, and you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry bitter tears, but it's good for you because you're not ready. Get back to the house of pain. Anyway,
This is the
that's
most
it.
perfect Brady Bunch ever.
When they pass, what they're doing is they're passing it on to me.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No, because my passing,
He's gonna do it though.
my passing will be
Always
so
does.
scary that just tells
Somebody
you
wants critique from a master.
you're not ready yet, Michael.
Believe it!
All right,
Just look at my eyes.
Elliot.
Yeah. Anyway,
Elliot, as you were here first, and you are the elder of the younger.
I wasn't here first.
The elder of the younger.
Weldon was here first.
Oh yeah,
I was
well,
late. Remember?
I doesn't count because I stepped away from the line for a minute when you dropped
you
in.
stepped out of the line.
Look, I'm the one wearing murder on my shirt.
I'm the one wearing warning. Contains facts and opinions that some might
I'm wearing Skull Crusher.
find offensive.
Ooh, I like.
Well, I'm not really wearing anything.
Skull Crusher. You're not wearing anything.
Oh, great.
Not much of anything.
I don't believe it.
I'm wearing my fur coat.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
It's getting cold out there.
wide world of sports. That's a good line.
All right, well then you just
All right,
you just volunteered. You're first. You're first.
All right. I have more questions than anything. Let's see. I know
Are
you
we
say,
not supposed to look at the text?
Yeah, I know you say don't look at the text, but
I have no interest in reading the text. This is not a writing critique.
I do like the perfectly symmetrical panel layout sometimes for fun.
Yep.
But I really, really have to read what's going on to understand what's going on.
No. Oh, you mean because you can't understand by what's happening in the screen? I mean, on the scenes. I mean, on the panels. Maybe I should start this episode by drinking a very large glass of wine.
It looks refined and finished. Tell them to leave. I don't like the. I mean, don't get me wrong. Okay, so I find that I have problems with this too. Like if I'm going to draw paintings on the wall or posters on the wall, do I draw what's on the posters and paintings?
No, you just make it a big black blob. That works.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out. I don't like the big black blob on the poster. Draw something on it or post some artwork on it.
What are you talking about?
I really cannot figure out what she's
behind the door.
I don't know.
The biggest problem with the first panel, I mean, among drawing aside, storytelling wise, is she's opening it to the left.
What?
Oh my gosh.
She's opening it to the right. What do you mean?
Oh my gosh.
What do you mean? There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Does that read better?
Oh, I see what you mean. You mean
no? Now it says "Automate." Just if ill
action must go from the left to the right.
That's true.
It does read better. Like they're coming onto the page.
Yeah,
and then, this panel as well. She's now talking to the person on her left. So while this isn't necessarily wrong, it reads better this way.
Yes.
Because now you're going from action left to action right to you've kind of hit a bounding an end here, and you're moving back down and to the left.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to zigzag left, right, down.
You're right. Her boobs are pointing down now towards.
Her boobs are pointing down towards this guy. Perfect line of vision.
Oh my goodness.
This is a graphic device, Matt. Don't be upset.
I'm just trying to make everything right.
Let the memories direct you.
Memories. All right, go on.
Let them guide you. I can't figure out what she's pinching in that third panel.
I think she's putting deodorant on.
What?
What?
Wow. Oh, in the third panel. Panel.
What is she doing?
Sorry.
Yeah, the fourth
putting
panel.
deodorant on. And
it looks like she's making a fart
that is
noise.
what that looks like. Yeah, she's doing armpit farting.
So there's a guy hovering in a karate pose outside.
What?
He's just squatting.
Yeah, he's hovering. He's doing a little Indian squat hover or whatever.
Well, maybe he's taking a poo.
Out in the bushes.
All right, what was your problem with this panel?
Well, now I just can't figure out what that is.
It's like it looks like they're kind of stuck in a closet or something, and there's light shining through, and she's like scruffing a guy in a suit in a mask.
I don't know what it is either. That's my biggest problem. Look, some of the drawings are nice and all, but I don't know what's going on at all.
I mean, that drawing isn't nice. The wrinkles are terrible.
I want to make a point here. If you're sending in storytelling pages, we're going to focus on the storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're sending in a pinup, we're going to focus up on the drawing.
And it better be finished, by the way. That's the other thing I got. If it's not finished, you're not getting a critique. If it's a loose drawing, I'm not critiquing loose drawings anymore. That's not fair. It needs to be complete.
All right. No sketches.
No loose.
No sketch therapy. All right.
Like, hey, this is how I draw. Like, this is how I figure out how to draw an eye. I don't want to see that. I want to see how you drew it so I can tell you if it's squared away or not. Anyway, this story right here is just not. Unfortunately, this piece of storytelling is not complete. I don't know. It's the end of something, I guess, because it says "end" at the end on the bottom right corner. That's like the most. That's the best storytelling right now is the end at the end, because it's the most clearest thing on here. I don't know who. Is that person in the bottom right panel the same person as this first panel?
No. Well,
I think she's the one in the closet.
like Tom
Okay,
Cruise.
I need to see the first panel again, Mike. Can we see it again real quick?
Whatever that's.
Sorry,
I
stole Kung Fu Kitty's joke. It's stuck in the closet, so it's a comic about Tom Cruise.
Uh-oh. Scientologists aren't going to be happy about that.
Uh-oh, we've got another sensei.
Kivrog.
Hey, I guess that name's still up there from last time.
Yeah. Hey, boys.
Okay, so what is?
Oh wait, it is the same girl. She's wearing the same dress.
All right, so here's a problem.
Wait, what?
If she's coming into the room and she's going to go into a closet, you have to have her going into the closet if she's in a closet. Also, if she's going to be grabbing something, if I'm supposed to judge this based on this page at all, and it really needs to be clearer, I don't know what she's grabbing. I don't know what that is. Is that a paper? Is it a paper bag?
Hold on a sec. I think I get it a little bit.
This is too much work. Either way, it's too much work. If Matt Weldon has to work this hard to get it.
Yeah, it took me a second. So in the first panel, I don't think she's busting through the door. I think she's closing herself in the closet. I think she's trying to. And then her friend comes up and is talking to her now or something. I think, anyways. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like she's trying to talk by the closet, but that to me looks like she's busting through the door rather than trying to shut herself in.
If that's the case, then that's a problem. But
so to Mike's point, if she was leaning the other direction, like she was pulling the door, not pushing the door open. If she was pulling it behind her,
right,
then I might have thought she was going into a closet. And also, all your word balloons are covering the damn closet. I don't know what's going on there.
I could be wrong.
Not a closet. Look at the size of that thing.
I could be wrong. I'm just saying.
I'd like a closet that size.
Because it looks like she comes up. Because if that's the closet door, then that she's talking through. Because the door outside is a different color.
I used to sleep in my closet.
Anyway.
Me too. I slept in my closet.
I tried to sleep in my closet.
That was just the right dimensions to put a queen size mattress
in.
Oh,
that's all I wanted. Yeah.
Look, I don't care about architectural design. I'm just saying this thing don't work.
Wait,
I don't know what's going on. So
must have been a twin.
This one's going to get a
I don't know,
a D from me.
Oh, the grading. Yeah,
I'm giving grades too. This is a D.
So I like that. The octagonal shape of the room too, so that it looks like the wall cuts.
How can you even tell though?
It's true. Behind the ceiling. Look at the ceiling.
Behind the door, in the ceiling. In the first panel.
Oh yeah, okay.
Should I bother doing a draw over on this?
No, just okay.
It's getting a D-. I like some of the drawings. I like I like the drawing in the second panel. But I don't know.
Get out of here, Maps, you freak.
I want Kevin to say something mean.
He's not.
Me say something mean? You guys already beat me to it. I mean, first of all, the word balloons in that, like the fifth panel, are covering up pretty much everything. One thing I had learned is to kind of give people, when you're at least on the basic storytelling, give people like breadcrumbs to follow. Have certain elements lead to the next panel and the next panel. No matter which shot you choose, little elements that might lead you around in terms of make it consistent from one panel to another, a room detail of some kind, anything. And it just seems to jump around. But, you know, these are kind of novice mistakes. And, you know, from what I could tell, you know, it's not the way I would draw. And you guys have hit on a lot of the critiques that I would have given myself.
Should I do a draw over?
No. Too much work. Listen, this.
I don't see the point.
Yeah, we got others. We got others to get to.
Yeah, it's going to take too long. Look, there's some neat drawing in here, and I definitely don't think you should give up. But there's some books you should be reading.
Why is she smiling? if she's afraid of somebody outside, she's in here squeezing this Play-Doh face. Why
Yeah.
why
And
she
in the fifth panel, she looks like she's smiling even more after she hears a shot.
right? Yeah.
Check out sequential storytelling. I think is it called sequential or comics and sequential art by Will Eisner. Check that out. Look at
So
get
if
some
that is
ideas.
That's a good one, Elliot. If that is the closet, you could draw that, whatever that is, inside the. You could, draw some clothes in there. It really, I don't know. If it is the closet.
Also, it doesn't look like if you had established the room, you wouldn't need to do a full figure in that panel and cover up everything in there. I don't know. You probably could have done this in about. I mean, this is too short. Just too few panels for all the storytelling you're trying to do.
Yeah.
To make it clear. Maybe. I'm not as good an artist. Maybe a better artist could have done it in 2 panels, I guess. But I'm not that guy.
Yeah, because this looks like a webcomic, right?
It could be.
I think we're done with this.
Not bad, not bad.
I like 6-panel grid stuff too.
I generally try to write stuff that it's 6 panels and then just kind of break them up in different ways. I think it's
even the traditional 6-panel grid from like old Silver Age stuff. That's fine with me. That's that. If you wanted to do it in more dynamically, blah blah blah. But this one just doesn't work.
What
that looks like a woman's body part.
Is that
What the?
Is that supposed to be like a fish with its mouth open?
Hold on. Let me just
This doesn't tell any stories to me. Make me think of biology class.
I don't like this.
I'll just give you the context if I can find it. It says, besides an overall critique, which is going to be kind of hard to do because it's Space Fish. I'm also struggling with how to shade this. The creature is located in the depths of a cave with a single light from above.
Oh, nice.
You can see the start of my pencil shading on the rocks at the bottom. Any suggestions would be appreciated.
Everything looks really flat.
So is it coming down a tunnel? Is it coming down like a burrowed tunnel or something?
Yeah. Are those snakes crawling over pieces of paper?
Where's the light coming?
I mean, yeah, I feel like the snakes are supposed to look like they're coming forward, but they look really flat and like just only facing this side, really. But I mean, you can find references online for light sources, like even sites that will let you control where the light is. So that's pretty easy to find light source wise.
You're gonna have to start learning how to shade. You're gonna have to drop some shade down on the ground to make it look like they're coming at you. It's a semi-simple fix, but
yeah, I would definitely look at reference of snakes as well.
Like
Elliot wants to beat somebody.
Like if you just took that rock on the snake that's closest to you, and if you just drew a little shadow coming over that rock, a simple dark shape, to make it look like he's just coming over that rock would be huge for this drawing.
Yeah, cool.
Look.
The shape of shapes. I mean, it's sort of a basic necessity for. See, what you're asking about is how to shade rocks in particular. You need to understand how to shade forms altogether. And there's, I can sit here and do it. But
I'm going to draw this one up for a second too. But you don't have to.
Oh, good. Right. All right, I don't have to do it then. Swell make Buffmeister will.
I'm just going to draw. Let me see. I'm just going to draw that one thing real quick, and then if you want, I'll elaborate on it. But you got that one snake coming over. Crap, I can't remember what the rock was going underneath him like that. But if you just drew, a little bit of a shadow coming over the rock like that, and say there's like the rocks back here. And you got other snakes.
It also looks dirty.
Simple. Is that making sense?
No, yeah, totally.
Except the problem is he's saying that this is in a dark place with a singular light coming from above. So it's
right. So he's coming.
Has to be like this. Super,
the fish is coming from the hole.
Definitely a hole. Yes.
And then all these things are coming out from him. But then there's a light coming in the tunnel.
I think it's coming from straight above, though, not like...
Yeah, like straight above. So he's coming in the hole, and then there's another light coming in from a hole off.
No, I think it's coming straight above, hitting the fish in the face, is what he's trying to say.
Oh, interesting. All right.
This drawing's not finished.
What?
Pass.
Oh, crikey. Well,
that's what I thought it was. Not
no,
that it was
I think I get it. I think I'm just looking at it here, and all right, I'm drawing over. Sorry.
Do it.
See, you can tell. Brush. Stop zooming, please. I just need the brush. All right, I do need this. You can see here he's trying to put some shading down here. So he's saying the light is coming directly down, right? So what you're saying is, yeah, if your snake is here and your light source is there, then do that. But yeah, obviously your rocks need. Gosh, all right, that's gonna take too long. Your rocks.
This drawing requires sort of more study of things in life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You should draw some skulls or some victims down there. You know, like some different creatures.
Wow, you're getting way ahead of the game here, Matt.
Well, I'm just saying, if this is this creature's home or something, that might be fun. Little addition.
No, if this drawing is supposed to communicate something, it needs to have been studied in the first place. You cannot draw a scene like this with just your imagination. Otherwise, just draw a bunch of cubes and make it like a cube cave. That's not what this is. It's supposed to be an underwater cave. Am I right?
Draw some crystals down there.
That's what it looks like. I mean,
crystal formations.
Hey, look. I know you're creating. Quiet, Matt. I'm talking, man. You're talking all over me.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I know. I understand that you're doing a fantasy creature, but you can still reference things. You have a snake-like body here. You can reference eels. You can reference snakes. You can reference whatever. You have a very large mouth thing. There is a thing I believe called a goblin fish. You could reference that so that you're not just pulling everything out of your imagination, because I'm fairly certain this kind of an angle on this kind of a fish doesn't exist. It certainly doesn't feel real, right? This looks like the kind of fins that a kid just he tries to remember what fins look like, and so there he's like doing, you know what I'm saying? Reference this stuff, and you're putting together different references from different things to create a new creature of your own. But you don't have to just try to pull everything out of your imagination. You're obviously pulling stuff out of your memory, right? Because, you know, these are like eel-like bodies. This is like a goblin fish. You've probably seen an image of one before. You've seen rocks. Reference everything until you're so familiar with stuff that you can just, you know, not have to reference everything. But until you're comfortable with how things look, just look at them. Look at them. It's not copying to reference, right? It's just getting more realistic sense of what things should look like. Anyone else have any comments on this before we move on?
No.
Well, I like the idea though. I like the Lovecraftian thing that's going on there. But
is that a?
I would just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on, Kevin.
I was just going to say that sometimes I know, maybe I'm not sure, I'm not in the artist's mind, so I don't know, but I know that when I was starting to get somewhere, I would draw things and I would reference things, but my ability to translate those things wasn't at a level to where it showed through. Like, they may have a picture of something that they were going for, but they just aren't at a level where they can draw it effectively. And it just needs more practice, you know, like you were talking about the fins and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to keep practicing drawing those fins. keep practicing drawing eels and snakes and things like that. So they may look at, in other words, you get some people, and I know I was there sometimes, where I would reference something and I was like, hey, I'm looking at this piece, I looked at this piece. Why, to me, it looks like I'm referencing it. And then the person critiquing me, definitely didn't think so. So there was a disconnect. And that's the thing. You got to throw yourself out there. You just got to take the critiques to heart and practice it and keep working until it actually looks right. You may have to redraw it. You may have to keep going at it, So that's just a little something I wanted to throw in there.
No, that's a good point. Jeff says, I have no idea where Mike gets a goblin shark out of this. You're right. It's not a goblin shark. I'm trying to remember what the name of it is because I've actually drawn the mouth that he's trying to draw in the Meg. I drew it in the Meg, but I can't remember what it was called. It's a deep sea fish, anyways.
I have the Meg.
My
Right
back
by
scratcher is hungry for blood.
Good point, Kevin. And understanding shapes and understanding how everything is built out of shapes. A gulper eel. I think that's it. I'm going to Google it tomorrow, but he didn't wait until tomorrow. His curiosity got the best of him, and then the nightmares began.
That's funny.
All right.
Listen, I seriously, this kind of stuff just requires some more reading. You should really go back and study some books. I definitely still recommend beyond the for just drawing and drawing anything. Check out Andy Loomis stuff. It's an excellent resource. If you want to stroll around beyond that, please do. But that will get you started before you can get a more complete illustration going than where we are right now for critique. Because it's not finished, you can only get negative critique. But it still can be constructive. It may be negative to you, but it's actually telling you, hey, you got a lot to work on. That's all.
So, Mike, you said you've seen this creature before, but like, it's not exactly like this. They don't have little things growing out of him, do they?
No. I'm just talking about the mouth.
So if you're really making something up, I mean, I like how you're trying to get all Natalie Portman on this thing and make something new out of nature, But go crazy, go like get really nuts, draw some. I mean, I like where you're going with it, but just keep going.
How many of these do we have left?
Get more elaborate with the creature.
I don't know.
Draw some saliva coming out of its mouth.
A lot of time into this one thing.
Yeah,
down,
that's what I'm trying to say to Weldon, but he's not paying attention.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you guys.
We're done here.
Yes, Sensei!
But don't give up.
I love doing that.
I'm not seeing it anywhere in the Meg.
Being on the receiving end of that, I guess.
You're not seeing it in the Meg?
No, I just flipped through all of it.
All right, you see the one where he's going down into the ocean?
No, I just started over.
All right. Or he's diving.
Where would that be?
And then he gets to the part where all the iridescent creatures are.
Iridescent creatures. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Oh. No, that's not the same thing. He's trying to draw like those hairy teeth, though.
Put it in the screen.
Okay.
Like whale teeth?
Oh, wait a minute. There it is.
One. I figured that's what he's trying to draw.
But I thought he's going for like those like whale teeth. Yeah, like Maddie said.
Oh, that's wild, Mike. Oh.
That's what I thought he was going for. With
it looked like an imaginary creature to me. That's why it's not,
Yeah. No, yeah.
It could be anything that you want it to be. The problem is there isn't enough information in the drawing to indicate what it's supposed to be.
Well, here's something with plenty of information, okay, Elliot?
It better be this. I'm already excited to see this.
Oh, that is a huge zapato.
Zach, what?
I don't know if you guys can hear, but there's a hedgehog running as fast as it can on a wheel.
No.
You can't hear that?
I can hear it a little bit.
Okay, good. If it's just a little bit, because to me it sounds like freaking thunder.
Is it this right here? I just turned my fan off. Is it that?
No, it's my. I have a hedgehog that's running on a wheel.
Oh, an actual
He
hedgehog.
wasn't. He
Yeah.
wasn't being facetious.
I just assumed because I'm facetious.
Yeah, no, he.
Maddie,
Yeah, what is that,
did your
Matt?
kids draw those?
My little girl's supplying my artwork for tonight.
Beautiful.
Aw,
I love it.
those
Are
are
we
nice.
critiquing this?
No,
No,
How,
you
how
can't.
old are your
critique.
daughters? 46.
A plus.
they got it.
Yeah, not only did she draw this, but if you can tell, they're crafted together by body, clothes, necklaces, accessories, crown, hair, everything. It's all separate parts that were put together.
Oh, so she makes like her own cutout dolls.
Yeah,
That's freaking awesome.
like the hair, the rainbow hair behind the.
You know,
Girl
we,
know how
we,
to
we
live.
critiqued my daughter.
Should we
Flawless.
try to critique stuff here?
Look at the laces on the shoe on the leg. Yeah.
That's nice.
That's great.
Elliot's itching to kill.
Beautiful.
Elliot wants. All right, Elliot, go.
He's in slay mode.
Okay. This thing, first of all, is that a sun? Is that fried eggs? I don't know. Secondly, the garment, very much of this drawing is very stylized, and I appreciate that. Interesting attempt at foreshortening, but I don't think you've achieved it. It just looks like this poor person is very heroically showing off his gigantic feet, or it's just the one foot that's gigantic, like because the foreshortening is not working. So there's something wrong with the foreshortening. I like the texturing, coloring's pretty interesting, but in sometimes, I mean, there's got some flying orbs, I guess, or something more along the lines of procreation. All I'm saying is, okay, but there's some interesting things going on in terms of space, except that foreshortening that was making me. I didn't know at first that foot was part of it. So also there's some things about your subject that's a little unclear. Shading, I'm a little nervous about the shading because I see you doing other shading that's not along with the shading you have in your dark shadows. I don't know why there's a dark shadow there and that inside the sleeve on the right, on his right, of this character's right side. And I don't know why those roots are trying to grab his clothes and take them off.
That's like electricity or aura, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, I kind of like that dark hand at the bottom acting like it's, but I think it should be portrayed somewhere else. But it kind of looks like it is in the background, but not like a hand.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't look like a hand in the background. It does in the foreground, but I don't know.
I don't think it is a hand.
And then that crack underneath his foot that is in the foreground, it looks like it's coming off of the edge of his big toe.
No, that's not a crack. He's wearing Japanese sandals.
No, there's cracks in the bark.
Oh, okay, but and it's coming off the end of it. Okay, this if there's that much confusion, it's just some you just you need, this isn't it's complete, but it's not good effort, but not there. I think you got. I don't know what's going on in some of this drawing.
He's standing on a tree that's fallen over, and that's why it's different than the foreground where his foot is.
Down from it.
Yeah, he's stepping down. The reason why it's like kind of like the dirt is too close of a brown to the tree, but also the foreshortening is not working mostly because the cloth and how it's draping over the leg is not showing any definition to show that the leg is coming forward.
That's really hard to do, though.
I also think it's at a bad
sense,
angle
yeah,
for
what
that
you're
type of foreshortening.
Yeah.
It's a very ambitious drawing. And I give you credit for trying, for sure. But I think Zach's right. I think you pointed that out. If you look at the way that what gives it away, the flaw is unless it starts at let's say the split between the bottom of the robe. Those two ends of the cloth of the fabric don't look that far apart from each other, and so that foot is so extreme. It's almost like one of those those bad CGIs where some of the polygons move in front of the other polygons and move through it. Like that would have worked if Anyway,
got clipping going. But also it's just like all the tones are really really flat from, you know what I mean, like there's no tonal variation, and all the colors and everything are very in the mid range, so that it comes off very flat. Like if you were to put like the foot and made it a lot like a few shades darker, and then let it go lighter, then it would actually, you'd get that sense of just distance, and that's just value distance. But also because the sun is behind him way up there, I want him to be so much darker to have like a nice cast shadow on him, and it it's not happening.
Also, it looks like he only has 4 toes. Is that what I'm seeing?
No, I think there's one that's like he's got a really really tiny pinky behind that one.
Alrighty.
But like he actually does it really good, like the value tonals on that tree that's on the right. If you look at the very top, it's like really really light, like it's white essentially, it goes to yellow, and then as it goes down to the trunk, it gets darker. So that tree feels like it's going. And
and the 2 trees actually are going in 2 different directions. That's what it looks like to me.
My only beef with that tree is that it looks like because of the lighting, the tree's going behind the light or the sun. Like that's,
almost. Yeah.
You got to be careful about that.
Samurai Jack.
I do. Huh?
I don't know if it's supposed to be, but
I don't think so.
Because it says, if you look at it, it says Jack.
Oh,
I feel like that's their signature, though, right?
The bad guy from Samurai Jack.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, maybe it is a fan art of Samurai Jack.
Okay.
Oh, that's what the shadows are. But like what Weldon was saying is actually really, like at the very top, you know how you did those like really shrill shadows with the branches at the very top? If you did made them like keep going to the very top and just made them thinner, it would make it pop out so that it doesn't look like it's going into the sun.
This, this was one of those illustrations that has so much detail because of the color. It's masking a lot of the flaws in the actual art. So on the one hand, I do say that as as far as like impact, it's impactful when I first look at it. Definitely draws my attention. Unfortunately, the more we look into it, the less impressive it is. I think you should try to have it follow a lot of these principles. To Zach's point, I like how now that I understand what's going on with the trees a little better, the more I look at it, one tree looks like it's leaning far back into space and into the sky, and the other one's very flat, like it's just sticking right behind the character. So it doesn't. That tree should also be following a similar path in perspective. The perspective,
it should come all the way down. Yeah.
Look like it's squared away.
But I mean, it should be pointed more toward the sun.
I think so. That's my vanishing point for this image. And then the same thing. Not the vanishing point, but you understand, like the top one. Yeah, it would be a vanishing point. But then also he would be standing against the perspective as well. So that's another.
So I like the garb, but if you're gonna, it just looks like he's smuggling like a cannonball in his right sleeve. But if you're trying to work on drawing fabric in the wind, I would just say practice that a lot more. It's not really. I mean, if that's what you're trying to do, which I think you are, it's a good. You're getting there. Just keep working on.
Here's the major problem: is you've got so many points of perspective. It's like an MC Escher drawing.
Yeah.
All right. You've got this one going to this vanishing point here. You've got this one. Who the hell knows where that vanishing point is? His body is essentially, I don't know, just on a plane here. So
right.
Except that then you have his feet. His feet, the horizon line should be about here, right? So you've got his upper torso is on sort of a mid-ground horizon line, and then you've got his feet at a worm's eye horizon line, trying to do like a 1-point curve linear perspective up here, and then like just randomly cutting it off at his body, and this part is just so just standard standing. You're standing in front of you. That's what Elliot was saying while the perspective is so messed up on this, and it just makes him look like he has a giant foot because really his foot should just be regular size like here.
Right.
If you're gonna do all this, do it, hit it, make the sun your vanishing point, right? And I mean, if you want to do like something more fisheye, then have your trees going towards the sun.
That's right.
You can have your big foot here and your leg, and then your other leg here, and then have him just. I mean, it's an up shot at this point. If you want to look at that,
right,
your body's like this, his hand, wherever it is, and then you can have your trees and stuff in the background. And then another thing is if you're having your fabric go this way, but you're not, it's all just going this way. You've got to give some shape to your leg. So you can either have the family dripping over and then swooping down like this, or curving around somehow, but give it more, bend on the knee, and then give the rest of it some curve. So we know there's a figure under there that obeys the laws of physics. Same thing with this giant. Guys, seriously, you're making so much flipping noise. Knock it off. This is just huge. I don't know what the heck. I'm not familiar with kimonos with that size sleeves, but something along those lines. I don't have time to just sit here and redraw the whole thing.
I like his pinchers.
His what?
His crab claws.
His crab claws.
But something along those lines. If you're trying to, I do like playing with crazy perspective like that and whatnot. So the foot's not necessarily the problem. It's you didn't follow through with your perspective choice all the way through the entire thing. So
if you tried to draw the chunkla or whatever it is like more flat, I think it might help. But you need to put some more dark. You need to spot some more blacks down there to where it like curve a shadow down the side of the tree, or something like that, to help his foot stand out a little bit more, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just took a little bit to get there.
And I like this, Mike. If you had, and I don't know what you were drawing back there in this for just now, but that would have been a good spot for Aku. If you're going to tell that story, that Aku's in the background, ominous. That right now, I didn't know that was Aku. It looked like a little extra branch. So if you're going to put it in there, if you're going to put the energy to put it into the illustration, put it into the illustration. Make it. It doesn't have to be front and center or a spectacle, but it does need to be like, this is Aku, because then it stops all. See how much guessing it took for us to get to this? That's part of the problem, right? So even though you were trying to do like maybe a more Final Fantasy version or what's that movie, that game, something Dynasty, whatever, Dynasty Warriors version of Samurai Jack and all that stuff, it just took us too long to get there. So that speaks to the clarity of the illustration. Whether we get it? Did we get your joke right away, the punchline? And then we didn't. So therefore, that's a big problem. That's it. Well, that's not it, because that's a big part of the illustrations. You got to tell that story, and it needs to if you're going to use a perspective like that, to Mike's point, follow through or carry it out throughout the rest of the elements in your illustration. They all have to be slaves to that same principle.
Yeah, I do. Not that I'm, whatever. The fact that you're trying to do something super foreground and then midground and background, maintain that, but just learn how perspective works better. It's one of the perspective is a fundamental of illustration, and it's something that would really have helped you in this process.
And it is hard too. It is hard, to be fair.
It is if you didn't learn it early.
Yeah.
Let me see what else we have here. Oh, really? Hold on a second.
I definitely give you points for the for impact though. When I first saw, I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna let Zach take this one.
Oh boy! Oh
nice
boy!
Blaster.
Oh boy, this is really interesting because I had a student that all he would draw is robots and stuff. So when he came to me, I was like, "Nope, we're starting over with figure drawing, just to get natural figures." And that's kind of where I would start with this one, is because I actually really dig the rendering of this one. It just feels very stiff though, and it's mostly because it probably was drawn piece by piece and not as a full, like you didn't figure out the flow of it before you drew it. So that would be my start off, would be to figure out a really good pose, and to figure out about like the weights and the balance and everything before you decide on a pose. Because right now this, it's kind of action oriented, but it just feels like very stiff and whatnot. But the rendering is actually really nice.
There's a specific request: rendering the circuits buttons on the legs in the first pick. How to deal with excessive detail in a reference material to make it interesting. The second pick is my workaround, but I don't want to cheat by changing the reference material.
Why do they think that'd be
let me grab the second one. Hold on.
Yeah, I think this is actually somebody just typed it in the chat. I thought this looked like box art, if that's the reference material. And I guess, remember in package design and in the box art, the original probably the original intent of some of that art is not just to draw the character in a particular action, but also to show you the toy. If that's what this is. Because I remember a lot of those old Transformer box art things were pretty flat to me. They were still cool though, because they're like, oh, cool, Optimus looks awesome, but he's very like robotic, ironically, or no pun intended. But yeah, I think.
Oh, he says it's from the toy itself, from the actual toy. So he got the reference from the actual toy.
Remember how a lot of the Transformers box art, how it was kind of flat? It just looks flat.
Yeah, because it's marketing material.
Because if the silhouette seems like an Egyptian hieroglyphic, like it's just flat on a wall.
Yeah.
And even though there's a lot of attempt at shadows and shading, which I think is cool because it gives it more dimension. It's not that the thing looks flat. It looks like it's the whole pose is just an Egyptian hieroglyphic. Does that make sense when I'm doing that?
Mm-hmm.
So
it reads that's what like you're going for.
Yeah. That was going to be another concept. I like when Mike was reading the context stuff. I guess the context. What is the purpose of this illustration? Is it just to kind of show off?
Here's this first one, and then this is the workaround. He's trying to get around having to do all the details and make them the busyness.
I actually like the one with the windows more.
Yeah.
It's clear. Yeah. It's simpler.
And and the angling on the shines on the windows looks cooler.
But if that's not part of the toy, is that the whole thing? Is the toy supposed to be exposed?
I don't know. This is a rough one to critique.
There is some cool drawing going on there, though.
Yeah, and I do like, the shading does give proper form. It's like, that IG-88 he did last time was just a ball of mud. And this, at least, it looks like it has form and structure and proper shading to attribute to that.
Yeah, there's a lot of and not value in terms of shading is not what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to say like volume. It fills volume.
Yeah.
Like all the pieces, they have volume to them, which is important. I love, as what he said, with the windows, or I guess you could say the plastic sheen going on. And I just want him to kind of use that texture on the top because it's the only place that feels like it's not getting enough love, like right where his head is and everything. Use that same
Right.
sort of plastic chain. But like if it's not part of the toy, if it's like a matted finish, I can't really say anything about it. I think he did a really good job like figuring out like the rendering, but I don't know exactly. Like the only part that I would actually say is actually bothering me is like the leg and the crotch. For some reason, it looks like there's something confusing going on with the parts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
I think that's why he tried to change it. He tried to tweak it a little bit from the first one. You can tell that right there in his groin area changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Go away. All right.
All right. So the comments in the chat now.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. We don't want explanations, Joe.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Joe, try drawing.
Here, look at my screen real quick.
All right. Oops.
Even though you have the anatomy of the character, but play around with it. Try drawing like a complete, like the leg. I think if you just tried cylindering it out and boxing it out and getting more dynamic poses and stuff like that. That's all I really try to do with my figures. And so, I mean, that may have been how the toy was posed or, standing, but you should start working your brain into like, having these things animate in front of you in your own mind. You know what I'm saying? So,
Like get creative with it. Don't feel like you have to stick exactly to the reference. I feel like that's something people feel like they need to do. Like get creative with what you're doing. You don't even have to make characters look exactly the way that they look. Like make them in your own creative style.
There you go.
And something I noticed is that this person that has been doing these seems to do it off like models and action figures, which are not going to be completely accurate in the first place. And you're looking for something to be so accurate to the action figure itself.
Reading
hold
his
on.
comments.
Joe's trying to make a point here. He's saying he only wanted specific the specifics on the leg details. He wasn't worried about the pose. It was an exercise in rendering and inking.
Right.
But Joe, the thing is, we're trying to make you better. That's why we're here.
Okay.
This isn't a critique just to make sure that you're getting better at one particular tiny little thing that you're worried about. We want you guys to get better at everything, and us critiquing you and us critiquing your piece of work isn't all about you. It's about there's plenty of artists out there who are going to have the same basic problems as you're having in your piece of art. And so if someone recognizes something in your art and we're giving critique, we're giving them suggestions on how to make improvements on their art, it's about helping the community of artists to get better as a whole. I just want more great artists out there. So
that's just my focus. Yeah.
That sounds to me like this is incomplete then. If all you wanted was critique on one piece of it, I think we should only be focusing on finished drawings, not stuff that's still in transit. Because if all you wanted was critique on that one piece, that sounds like I didn't know that coming into this because I don't know what that context is. I'm just judging it on its own merits, and it doesn't. Like I said, it was actually a pretty cool drawing in general. But if I'm not looking at the finished thing, then I won't critique it anymore because I think that's still it's valid to say, well, that's like saying, hey, can you give me a quick, like, how do I draw this better, this one piece better? But the whole illustration though, I thought we were judging the whole, and that's how I'm coming at this. It's like,
and that's what I'm saying is that even if you've got specific needs, then once we've addressed your needs, just sit back and enjoy the ride because we're gonna try to help everybody learn to draw better.
It's all about those high beams. Check out those high beams, baby.
Can you go back to it real quick though? It's because I think what he specifically wants is like, hey, did I do a good job with my ink work rendering these specific details? Did I make them look decent? And I kind of think that's what he was wanting, from us. And he just picks something to draw in general.
Yeah, that's a good point to make. If that's what the specific. I mean, yeah, you get what you get, and you don't get upset.
Yeah.
And if that's the kind of critique you want, you got to put it in the comment, which he may have. I don't really know.
Yeah, I think we were like I went at it like pose as like my first thing and everything, but like he was just like hey, did I render this? Did I like use my ink work? He's talking specifically like did I use brushwork correctly and stuff like that? And I think that's what he was trying to get at. And he just
the more I look at it, the more I like the legs, even though
I really like them.
Kind of twisted. I mean that's probably how the legs look when the figure posed like that.
That's the thing.
I did say that last week, yeah, because I wanted to know like what they wanted out of it.
But then we should read that up front then, and if that's true, and I actually don't mind that. I think that's a good point. If you just need specific thing, but if I don't get that context up front, I'm just gonna critique what I see. And
I don't think you're upset, Joe. I think you're cool.
Maybe in something like that, instead of putting the whole thing, then just do a crop on your image on just the legs and say, do these circuits look blah blah blah, and then in which case I would have to say, well, does it look like the rendering? I mean, your photo reference. Then if it looks like your photo reference, then it's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Rhaegar, hold on. I got it. Sorry, Kevin. I know you haven't said anything, but this guy's paying me to say it. So, apropos of nothing, says Rhaegar Targaryen, drawn and quartered Transformers.
We already did that.
Yeah.
No one wants to do that except Brian.
All right, Kevin. What are you
Never again.
Oh, I was just going to say, since this is reference from another piece of artwork or drawing, right?
Apparently a photograph.
Oh, a photograph?
That's what it's been said in the chat that I read.
I thought it was a figure. I wasn't sure.
I like
that. Oh, okay. Because I, as far as I seem to recall that pose and that particular transformer in that pose, and I thought it was art. But I would say if it is reference from anything like art or a photo, then the problem becomes, like if it's art, we're ended up critiquing somebody else's drawing through his eyes, and we can't, unless we see the reference, we can't tell whether or not he's done a good job.
That's right.
If he's making the same mistakes as the original drawing, like if it was a drawing. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying that's the kind of situation we're in, is that if you do something that's referenced from something else, a drawing per se, we're just going to be critiquing the mistakes that were made by the original artist, and so it doesn't help us if we're not seeing the original art to compare it to, or the original photo, things like that. Just something I wanted to throw out there.
All right.
On to the next.
Rhaegar for another $2 says, my bad, I misspelled Gundam Wing.
That would be kind of cool.
That'd be terrible.
All right. We are done with this, correct?
Voltron might be funner.
All right. Then
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Oh,
here we go. Wow. I'm gonna ask Kevin to take first swing at this one.
Uh-oh. Let me see. I have to look real close. I'm trying to figure out what this is supposed to be. A lot of it, from what I could tell here, is this person has got some pretty decent rendering that they're trying to achieve, and they understand some. They're midway in understanding all the forms and the physiques and the musculature and things like that. The problem is that they're not there yet, and their underdrawing is what stands out to me as needing a little bit more work. And one way I would suggest, like if you look at the main figure lunging at us specifically in the front, just above the Corvette, his leg is way over from where his hip would be.
Yeah, it's coming out of his gut.
Yeah, exactly. And it's further out, if you were to line it up, it lines up with his shoulder up there. And so, you can tell if you had a light box or a mirror and you flip it over and start working that out, do your underdrawing. Always do your underdrawing, draw through the figure. That's a really quick and easy way to fix your mistakes. Just draw through the figure, build it with your cubes, your cylinders, things like that. I know it sells, when you get to when you're going, he's kind of like me from what I could tell when I was coming up. is I was kind of worried. I didn't really believe like the books like How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, where they tell you to build it. I was just like, yeah, that's just for beginners, blah 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 blah. But really, it is a true thing, you know, and that's what I think is going on here. He's kind of jumped the gun. He's learned to run before he walked, and I think that if you work on paying attention and building everything up, do your underdrawing a little bit better. I think that's the main problem with that picture. But I mean, I commend him because he's trying to do so many things, master so many approaches, you know, with the shading or the rendering and the, you know, the musculature and all these little things and getting that car right. So they're really bold in terms of what they were trying to do, but it just needs some structure, I would say.
And in that, I'm putting the link to the PDF of George Bridgman's complete guide to drawing from life in the chat. Please do click on that, download it, or just save the link. It's a free PDF. You can buy hard copies on Amazon for less than $20. It is a royalty-free book, so they're really cheap. It is your drawing Bible when it comes to body structure, rhythm, all the important things that we're talking about right now.
You should put that in the description, Mike.
I should put it in the description, but it's in the chat. Siege.
I think Kev pretty much said it all. Like it
Okay,
totally. Okay, you're welcome. Go ahead.
No.
No, I mean, yeah, I think Kev said it all. Like the whole, running before you can walk type of thing. Also, oh wow, I really just noticed his teeth bulging out of his mouth. That's not good.
No, that's not good.
The angling for sure. Yeah,
That's like legitimately the first thing I saw when I opened this up.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
He's got some swole teeth.
Like, is his mouth not smashed that way, or
maybe?
Ooh, his teeth are way too far out.
I mean, he's got a jacked up eyeball, so he might have a jacked up grill.
Yeah, I thought maybe like it almost looked like he was that type of character where the side of his face was melted a little bit.
Reference jerkmonger teeth.
Reference those teeth. But this guy that's all swole with his shirt off, like his angling's pretty wonked out. The whole anatomy. What did you say his name is? Bridgman?
Bridgman, yeah.
His neck is like forced out over by his shoulder for sure.
Honestly, I think if this guy took about 6 weeks of not doing anything else but studying Bridgman, with the kind of rendering that he does, I mean, it's not all perfect. He's got a great sense. Everything feels like it has mass.
Yeah.
Right?
Did you just compliment?
Form. It's the structure underlying the form is wrong. It's just objectively wrong. So I think if, again, take a few weeks and just study the crap out of Bridgman, practice, man, and you redo this, because dude, the layout's cool, you know, the juxtapositions are cool, the tangent's not so great, but who cares? If this entire drawing was done with a better understanding of structure, this would be publishable stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, that car's pretty good.
Oh yeah,
I mean, cars are pretty hard to draw, so.
Yeah. I would also, this is not a nitpick, this is just me pointing out that when you've got a leg, granted this leg is completely in the wrong area, so let me just move it real quick down where it belongs.
That's a sausage leg.
Yeah, I got that magic with the Photoshop to move stuff around.
You know what this looks like to me?
Or you crawl over top of it.
Are you talking, Kevin?
Kevin's trying to talk, but he's talking over him.
I can't hear him. Sorry.
Oh, you can't hear me? Anybody else can hear me?
I can hear you.
Shrink it down a little bit. Make it a little bit smaller, Mike.
Yeah, just a little bit.
There you go.
Something like that. Anyways, the actual problem I'm having with this is material. right? Material stretches. Material stretches. You don't all need all this rendering on top of his leg, right? It's gonna stretch. It's gonna go out from the crotch, but it's not gonna go. The fold isn't gonna go around his leg, right? Unless he's wearing some like MC Hammer parachute pants or something. It's gonna be really tight around his knee, and then you're gonna have folds in here. But again, this is I don't know if it's nitpicky. Folds are important to me. But yeah, see, this is not bad because in this his leg is straight, so it's not stretching out the material. But yeah, you do this a lot where you think the folds are going to go all the way up the leg, and it's just not. It's not. See, it's a consistency thing with you.
So one of the things I was noticing was a lot of this looks like this person learned more to draw out of comic books, is trying to draw the comic book pose versus to Kevin's point earlier about the drawing through thing. Because I see a lot of traditional poses which are cool. And so those things are nice, but I've made that mistake before too, and I thought, yeah, that head should go there, and the head's up. That even the head is like it's on top of the shoulder where it could be a little more centered. I would actually take that head a little bit and of the foreground character, Steve Rogers guy, and move it up a little bit. Because to what you guys are saying, there's some really nice rendering in here, up and to the right probably, and it would help to have, those things that you guys have addressed already. Like even the guy looks like what's the sailor's name in G.I. Joe? Shipwreck in the back with the whip.
Yeah.
That his left leg, which is underneath that arm, it looks short.
Yeah.
But that looks like a pose you may have seen, or you might be translating what you think you see in the book, which is cool, but that's an issue. The other thing is that foot of the foreground character is so close to the car.
Yeah, he's got midget.
Well, that's another thing. I'm looking down compositionally
Back here.
His foot is so close to the top of the car.
Oh, you mean this? Yeah.
Yeah, I almost feel like they need to be farther apart.
Tangent, yeah.
Or have the car in front of it completely, like it's a separate element, and in the it wouldn't be in the foreground of the character. It's just going to be in the foreground of your composition. If you want to showcase that car, then showcase it, overlap it if you're going to overlap it. But that little kind of like, I'm not sure if I should cover it. It's just close enough that you might get deceived. That's not doing the composition any justice.
Yeah, it draws the eye, and it's
yeah. But that right there, just that little bit of tweaking there and changing the shape of the head. Unfortunately, the problems that come from rendering this deep without those fundamental things is that you're probably thinking, oh man, I did all that work. You can't just erase this and put it. You if you wanted to work better, you would have to, but you probably are going to resist the desire to do it because there's so much work put into all your rendering. I almost feel like if we're not going to critique finished piece, just when this finished, and I'm glad it is finished, and that's why I also think that the quality of your critique is better because it is finished, and it's more of a complete illustration, and a lot more of the fundamentals have been followed, as far as ideas and concerns. But it gives us something to really kind of work with, because there is a lot of strong stuff in here. Even that what you did, Mike, by just pushing the teeth back a little bit there on the side.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that, it's that there was no depth. So there's no teeth wrapping back, and Mike fixed that by putting that shadow, putting the inside of the cheek in there. But I like the dude with the bow and arrow.
Except it's on the wrong side.
Is this supposed to be like Big Jim? Is this Big
Stop
Jim?
it. That doesn't exist.
Is this Big Jim?
I don't know. I think it's like, is it like Action Man or something?
I don't know, because you got the guy with the kung fu, the karate chop hand. Isn't that?
Yeah,
isn't
this
that
is like an extending hand, right? It's like a telescoping hand.
Well, make the hand a little bit smaller. I know you're trying to do the perspective, but it needs
No. I don't think it's perspective. I think it's a telescoping hand.
What?
Wait,
okay,
the
hand is small. I don't know. The hand is large. I don't know if it's supposed to be, but I'm saying that, like, I was looking at the wrist and being like, that wrist is ridiculous for this hand.
There you go. Yeah. A little bit better.
But I was thinking, oh, it's a telescoping hand, so maybe the wrist is supposed to be.
Yeah, but you know what? If it is, then if when that thing goes back, it's going to be too short. You've almost drawn it like a regular.
Just started telescoping.
Yeah.
I have a problem with the guy with the whip touching that guy's arm.
Yeah.
Being so close to him. And plus the guy with the punching hand, it looks like his leg is just non-existent. I know you're worried about interfering with the gun, but the punching guy, he needs a leg down there or a little knee or something. But move him back a little bit. He's just him touching everybody else. You know, him being about the same size makes it look like, hey man, you're getting in my way.
There's also this weird thing. I'm pointing like you guys can see me. That there's a weird thing happening in your foreground guy's left fist. That little right, you just pass it over, Mike. With that, there's a little vortex of information there. All their arms and fists are creating a weird, that's actually really good to just separate them. Like I said, if you're gonna overlap, but you can't overlap that much because then things just get confusing.
Yeah.
So give that guy a little more space to breathe in his own area. He's still part of the composition. He's still occupying the space that you were intending for that character to occupy, but it's a lot more. So there's something to be said about not just you don't have to fill everything in, but also giving enough negative space. You know, if you get to a point where all those things come together, if it looked like a gridlock in that spot. So now, just by Mike shifting it out of that spot, he's still there. He's still occupying the spot. He still fulfills his purpose in your composition, but he's
Make that
clearer.
Another small nitpick is the whip guy's left hand is a little too low and a little too big.
Right, that's why I meant that other leg was small because it's either one or the other. Also,
well, I see where his hip though, his chest is going way left.
Yeah, like it's all swooped over that way. I don't know if he was attempting to make his shoulder go down further or what.
No, I think that's a strap that goes over and it's going across.
It's boomerang.
Oh, okay.
So that's not like the center of his chest. Yeah.
But also, I mean, just anatomy. Work on that.
Every line and then
Mm-hmm.
No,
Mike,
but it is.
Then he should be like aimed the other direction, though. His chest should be going up toward his shoulder.
Mike, I think the same thing could happen with the guy on the left. His rib cage, it looks like it's the outside of the foreground guys. So that's a tangent problem. So that's another problem of crowding your characters too much. They're too crowded. Either you get rid of some of his body, or you have to reduce the size of his body I need to see his outside edge and his arm then. But I think now his torso, like his back, needs to be.
Yeah,
he's too small.
He's all messed up.
But you need some separation.
That's tricky. Tricky. Well, and also the arrow guys, the way you have his leg, it looks like his knee should pop out over there. Yeah. Or but if you don't want to complicate it, you're gonna have to angle his leg down a little bit.
Sitting on this guy's shoulder. Carry me.
I like it.
There's a lot of good stuff in this. You know, I would also, if you want a reference for how other things, I'm not sure. I think we accomplished it pretty well. Like in that Secret Wars 1 cover, Mike Zeck did a real good job of laying the characters out that way. There's a lot of characters on that. It just looks like one of those things that you're thinking through. Really good idea. You just crowded it too much with some, along with some anatomy problems. It just kind of sabotages your intent. But
let's not confuse terms here, because look at his anatomy. His anatomy is actually pretty good. It's the underlying structure of the anatomy that's failing.
Well, that's
the way the rendering is looking good too. Like
that's still
no. Structure and anatomy are two different things.
No, if your head is on the wrong side of your body, that's an anatomical.
Like his head's like so pushed the other way, like into his shoulder.
Right, that's the problem. But that's
that guy.
But I've seen a lot of those. The reason why I'm not going crazy on that is because I've seen a lot of those kinds of challenges in comics throughout my reading life. You know, I've seen tons of stuff like that, I've seen this from some pros too. These are just like I said. There's this stuff. This particular thing is really fun. There's a lot of good stuff happening here.
Mhm.
It's just that those little things, like they seem like nitpicks because it's so close. It's almost like that. It's almost like that thing with the foot. It was so close to the car that it was creating a tension that you could totally, let's move on to bigger and better things with this one, because if you just made these little choices, we wouldn't be talking about this way. This would be already like, oh, this is great. So the nitpicks that seem like nitpicks, they're really at this level that this artist is at. I think we should be nitpicking it to make it as good as it can be, because it's so close that this is where you say people, oh, that guy's trash. Like, he's not trash. He just made some poor choices, because those are subconscious problems. Like, people might say that you're just nitpicking it, but if that's bothering me at a subconscious level, we're capable of looking through this and spending time and figuring out what those problems are. Most people won't even give you the time, the rest of the time that you need to develop. So this is a good opportunity to hear these things now and say, okay, yeah, those are things those are easy things you can fix.
Yeah.
Those things could be addressed really in your if you're not strong, if you're not, not everyone's Kim Jung-gi who can do a great, perspective and all those things really cool. Just off rip, if that means you should really work on your in your thumbnail and in your rough, that could all be worked out in those spots.
Did we establish? Are these existing characters or just his made up characters?
I don't know.
It looks cool though, whatever they
Well,
are.
I like his little saw blade on his bracelet, but that barrel on that gun is massive.
It's a 50 cal.
Goodness. It's more like a 73 cal.
Well, you're not taking perspective into account. Well, all right. Are we done with this one?
Yes, Sensei!
All right. Let's see what else we got here. That was the only one from Facebook.
That was a fun one. I'm glad this one looks even better already, just with some of those changes.
I would still move the guy with the gun's head up a little bit, but yeah, it looks good. Maybe a little too big still, but I like it a lot better now.
All right, let's see if
I thought it was Big Jim. I don't know who drew this, but someone says it's Big Jim. That person's the artist. I saw it.
Let's see here. This one came in last week a little too late, so try this one, and I'm gonna let Zach. What?
Oh God.
This one.
That's from Dark Grift, isn't it?
All right. There's no specifics, right? There's not like a specific thing they're asking for or anything. I could just go.
I don't know. I didn't read.
No.
No, there's
okay.
no
Well, okay. My first thing is the references that they probably used for this.
It's Action Pack.
Action Pack. Is this supposed to mean something?
Yeah, hold on. It's Action Pack.
Oh, the group from the last image. Oh, okay.
Oh.
But isn't that Big Jim's pack? Big Jim.
Wait a minute. He's got a little plunger arrow. That's awesome.
I knew it, man. I love this guy. Great. Who's the artist on that? Is that
Karate Chop?
Does that look like Sal?
He does have a saw blade on his bracelet.
All right.
Anywho.
Who's that artist? I love that guy.
All right, what was I saying? Oh, the references. Like it looked like he combined two different references for two different horror films, Friday the 13th and the Freddy Krueger.
Freddy versus Jason, yeah.
Is that a forest behind him a little bit?
Yeah. What I would actually suggest when you're doing like direct copies of references is to apply a proportionate systems such as like the grid or doing like the pencil measure or something like that, because what you have going on is you have Freddy and his hand is very, very small, which is I know is not the case. It's actually because he's wearing a huge glove with his face, and whenever he puts his neck to his face, it's huge. So you would know that glove is actually a lot bigger. So it'd be trying to figure out how to train your brain to get the correct proportions based on where things are in the image. If you're going to do from reference like this. And then not worry about rendering really until you have those proportions really, really zoned in. It's kind of like what Kevin said in the earlier one, where you have to have basically you have to have a good underdrawing, really good underdrawing before you start doing any sort of rendering, because there's no point in polishing a turd. You know what I mean? The turd is still a turd. It doesn't matter how much you polish it. So taking the time to really figure out the proportions, and when you're doing traditional like this, you don't have the pleasure of being able just to flip the canvas to make sure that your proportions are correct and that it's not lopsided. But what you can do is use a mirror. It does the same thing. But just to make sure that it's balanced and the proportions are correct before you start doing all this rendering, because it looks like you took a lot of time to do a lot of rendering, but the reason why it's not as strong as it could be is because all the proportions are incorrect. Like, and the most obvious is the hand compared to his face. So that's would be my big takeaway from this.
Weldon.
Just a couple of like nitpicks, I guess. The back of the neck looks like it should be moved over to the left a little bit. I mean, probably off page if that's where it is. Maybe you were just trying to keep it on the paper, but it just looks like his neck should be a little thicker. Did you say that Jason's left hand is way smaller than his right hand?
No, just like the hand is really, really tiny in the image. Like his hand should be a lot bigger.
Jason's hand should be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Wait, you mean Freddy?
Yeah, Freddy.
No, I'm saying Jason. You said Freddy.
Left hand, yes.
But Jason's hands are ill proportioned to each other.
I don't know about that.
His left hand is smaller than his right hand.
Oh, I see.
I mean, it may be right, but compared to each other, it looks off. But
wait till it's my turn. Sorry.
I like how you tried to do the forest back there. I don't know, just those small things. I would just say, I like how the hat's sitting on there. Just work on getting your hands steady and getting those the lines on the claws, more looking better. But that's pretty much the few things I had.
All right, Siege, you got anything?
I mean, the rendering looks really muddy. I would work on rendering a lot more. But basically everything they said, it just looks really like almost dusty and muddy. But everything they said.
All right. Kev, you went first last time, so I'm going to skip you this time. Elliot.
The overall, if I was to, so one of the things that you could do is also trace the, if you don't want to trace it or whatever, like there's techniques that use that kind of technique, or techniques that use those kinds of tools like tracing paper or light boxes or whatever. It's fine, but at least try to get the proportions squared away. Try that. Try tracing out on a piece of tracing paper or something else on your reference. Trace out the head shape to the hand shape, and that will help you kind of see the size ratio issues squared away. And then I would say also, even if you're using the reference and that's how Jason's arm is in your reference, because you chose two different pieces of art to combine into one illustration, I would say that you either enlarge Jason and push it, make him break away, because he's sitting inside of that thing, so he looks like, I didn't even realize he had a hand there. I thought I was going to ask, does he have a stump arm in the movie or something?
Mm-hmm.
And if he doesn't, right, then if you're just going to be a slave to the reference, which is, you know, that's not necessarily wrong, then you need to move him away or add to the reference. Maybe his arm is further out instead of in, like the reference is, because all it did was make it look like you cut his arm just so it wouldn't cross over the edge. So we had the same problem as the last illustration, where the elbow, I guess, of Jason is right up against the edge of the silhouette of Freddy, and all it did was it just kind of it creates like a weird, like a jam in your composition that is not. You want everything to breathe, like if just like, and I was going to compliment, actually, it works better, say, where Jason's blade crosses over the edge of Freddy's glove, so you can still see it. Like, so what I saw in the hand, I couldn't tell it was a hand, one, so your anatomy needs help there, so I can see it, and clarity to see his point. It looks dirty and muddy because it's not clear. You can still use shading, and you can still do, you know, interesting graphite techniques, but if I can't tell what it is, then it betrays all the effort you put into this is almost for nothing, because you didn't. I can't tell what's being communicated in it. So breaking out of crossing, being more deliberate in your crossing over of planes helps to bring some clarity to the illustration, so that you're not. If you don't want me to deal with that, then deal with it at the earlier stage, so I don't have to look at that and be like, what's that? Cut off that kind of problem at the beginning. So that's really, because everything's happening. It's that weird little sliver on the right of negative space, and the only thing that's crossing over are those little branches, but those branches aren't important. That figure is. So that figure should be doing the explosive thing out of that silhouette, not just little roots or branches or whatever those squiggles are supposed to be.
All right, I'm gonna try to simplify. If you want to do tonal rendering like this, then practice simpler, right? Practice with as basic as spheres and squares and triangles and cones and cylinders and core shadows and drop shadows and just very, very basic rendering, so that you can learn to shape things with tone. Because what you're doing here is you're trying to copy stuff that you don't quite understand artistically from a technique perspective, right? You see a shade, you see a certain tone. Sorry, I got a hair on my freaking face. And you're trying to replicate it, and I understand, that's fun, right? I don't the whole putting lipstick on a pig thing. I understand what Zach's saying, but that, sometimes you want to get. I like when I'm sitting here drawing something. Sometimes I'm penciling something, and I'm like, I really want to be inking this right now, because I'm looking at what I'm doing, and I'm like, boy, I can't wait to start throwing ink down on this part that I'm doing, because that's fun, right? You want to get to the fun part, but you need a better sense of the technicals of the fun part before you do it. So, step away from trying to copy other people's stuff and try to get back to learning a few basics before jumping in. Like I just told the other guy, step away for a few weeks, study the living crap out of Bridgman, get your structure. And by the way, this applies to you. This applies to everyone, even the professionals. Learn your structure, and then learn if you're going tonal like this. Even if you're not, it's very important to learn how to shade. I know I don't do a lot of blacks, but I know how to shade. And so learning that is a fundamental. And that's the important thing about drawing, is that if you know your fundamentals, then you can play around with the stylistic elements, right? And you can have a clean, instead of his hat looking like a big gray, squishy thing, it would have shape and form just by lightening up this area, darkening up this area, and giving it that proper shading. Can you critique Ren and Stimpy, please? No.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
I stepped away. I just wanted to point out, and sorry if y'all already touched on it, but I know Freddy's teeth are jacked up, but it looks like they're too small. It looks like there's too many of them.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't really want to comment on that because I'm not familiar with these characters per se. So I mean, I know who they are. I just don't know. Like, I'm not gonna say what they're. I don't know what they should look like exactly. So I don't know if his teeth just look like that or.
I thought, yeah, I hesitated at first too. Yeah.
There's no hesitation. Kevin, did you have anything to add? I know I cut you out of this one, but if you have anything to add, let me know.
Oh, it looks like a level. You know, sometimes you get people that are at a certain level where you just need them to draw more. You know, like a lot of times the first thing I'll see on a kind of a novice drawing that I'll, you know, really pick out is a lot of times they'll use that smearing or thumb shading and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it immediately tells me, you know, they just need to more practice, more and more practice and pay attention, and it'll come to them, you know. And so a lot of your critiques already I pretty much agree with. So I don't have a lot to add other than I'd say that this person just needs to keep drawing. Sometimes you get people at the shows where you can see a spark of something, but they just need to keep filling up a sketchbook and keep drawing and just getting your muscle memory and getting everything down. So that's pretty much it.
All right. Let's see. Brother. We done here?
What do you think, Carson?
Oh. Hey, how's it going, guys?
Still Carson.
I'm not a big fan of Freddy or Jason, but no, I think I agree with like what you guys are saying. Because I think like for instance, like the structure, everything, like the face and everything, nose placement's all nice. Everything's good. There's like little things like you said, the hat, like the form. That's the only thing. Like, 'cause I know when you're working with photo reference too, sometimes the photo looks like that, but when you draw it, you have to kind of the photo can get away with some things that your art can't get away with, right? Like you can translate the photo, you go, it's a photograph, so accept what you see. But when you draw it, people are like, wait, you didn't do that right. But it's like, well, that's what the photo looks like. It's like, well, sometimes you have to focus on with the form.
Take a little drawing license.
Well, I guess my big thing about value on this would have been, this is my last thing, is to really study how light wraps around things to give it dimension, because it looks like you did a lot of detail, but none of the value is letting the light tell a story of how it's actually wrapping around.
Yeah, like
and stuff.
Like all the detail in the face actually flattened out the face.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, like if you were to have like put a lot less detail in the actual cheekbones, and then more detail down to the sides and stuff, what it would do is it would make a cascading effect, looking like a shadow, making it pop. So
we know he has a burnt face, so it's like some doesn't have to look burnt in every area. Just pick certain areas where they're more, you know, to give that form. So you kind of stick to the burnt areas where the form would be, the shadows would be.
All right, are we done here?
Yes, Sensei!
Heck yes, Sensei.
Makes you feel like I have to do that every time you do that.
All right, wait, I gotta do the.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Here we go.
The outrage.
I'm not even going to touch this one. So,
volunteers,
Yep, nothing to say. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's perfect.
That's the way it's supposed to be. I understand this artist was obviously portraying something we don't understand because he's too great.
I like how he's changing the perspective of the foreshortening of the bullets as they curve up around the dude's shoulder pad up there. Yeah, as they're getting smaller. Yeah, bro. Well done.
That's excellent.
Well done.
I like his hairstyle.
Nerf bullets.
Elliot, destroy this, please.
What? No.
All right.
Elliot's not playing none of your reindeer games.
Artist 10? I don't know. Listen, Here's how it works. That's not a gun. That's a blow dryer. 1, 2.
Where's the exhaust on that thing?
Is his hair on fire? I hope not. 3. The foreshortening on the gun hand on his left hand, not the right side. Very bad. It should be much larger than it is right now. Looks like he's got a stumpy. It's like the hand came out of his shoulder. That's an ugly look. That's a horror movie. Don't do that again. Next thing, anatomy. I don't understand it. Is that his lats? I don't get it. What's happening there?
There is no right shoulder though. Yeah.
Is he wearing a piece of a receipt from 7-Eleven on his shoulder? Is that supposed to be a strap? I don't know. Is he taking the red pill? Is those bullets or pills? Does he have a problem with? Does he have diabetes? Does he need more medication? We need to figure that out. Also, what's wrong with his teeth? Is he got a piece of tape across his mouth? Is that duct tape or is that his mouth? I don't know what it is. And is he going scuba diving? That doesn't make any sense. Is that a worm? I don't get it. So, okay.
It is a worm face.
But seriously, this is clearly cable. You need a lot of practice. You need to spend a little bit of time on your figure drawing, and stop trying to copy. Stop trying to copy comics. Don't copy comics. I did the same thing, and it took me a long time to figure out what I was doing wrong because I was copying comics, not studying from life. And I would just take some time and take some, just learn anatomy and learn about the structure of the human body, and then also, figure out how hair works because I don't know what's happening at the top of his forehead. I think he's going to hurt himself with those razor blades. So there you go.
Yeah, you gave him a perfect hairline this time.
All right. Does anyone want to add to Elliot's appropriate and concise? Although you did forget to point out that he has 6 fingers on his
he does.
hand.
What? I don't see 6 fingers.
He has 6 fingers.
Where?
Lee Matthews incapable of counting.
No, his trigger finger is on the handle.
Yeah.
Or in the guard.
One.
Isn't it because he's half Nephilim?
Yeah, right? Mike, show him.
I don't see 6 fingers.
I don't see 6 figures either.
On the left.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Oh, I thought we were looking at...
There's the thumb.
I was looking at the other hand.
Look at the
You know what that was?
I was looking at the other hand.
Disguising it in the details.
There's so many
fingers.
Wait, get rid of your lines. I want to see it, Mike. Get rid of your lines on the other hand. I want to see it again.
Just look at the tips of the fingers.
Go back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
You know what it is? There's only 2 tips, but there's a 3rd finger in between.
It's like an Escher drawing right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
It's a mind blowing.
Tripping me out.
Hey, redraw this one, Mike. Go back.
And what is with this buzzsaw thing going
That's the
on?
glow. That's the glow of his eyes. Got the glow.
That's the glow.
Listen, if you're following anything from 1992,
buzzsaw tattoo.
I mean, look at those.
And the pinky is the shortest finger, man.
That is correct, Jalapeno Milk. This is a cry for help.
What?
Is he going Super Cyan with his haircut or what? Is that what's happening here?
On
there we go.
Super Saiyan.
On a good note, he's got a nice proportion of the eyes, the nose, and the teeth.
Yeah, they're perfectly level. The nose is not centered, but I mean the eyes are straight.
I think perfectly is.
The eyes are not centered, or the nose is not. No, the mouth is centered. The eyes are way off.
But Weldon said it was perfectly. I think I say the nay.
I said the eyes were level.
Yeah,
that's
good.
This is a novice artist who's trying to. I like that you use that word, by the way, Kevin. Novice. I like that. I'm going to use that more often. I like this a lot. It's cool. I like that you're trying to do something here. It looks, but stop referencing Rob Liefeld. Stop referencing Jim Lee. Stop referencing all the trash. Do it right.
Dang.
Don Chin wants to know: does he have little smoky hot dogs at the ready for snacks? Yes. No. Hey man, don't diss Little Smokies.
Those are his power pellets.
Little Smokies are the bomb. I'm just saying.
He's got a little or a little sauce dispensing gun.
All right. All right. Are we done with this one?
Yes, Sensei!
Then let us move on. Oh, wait. I need to do my...
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Jim already said that was. He goes, wait, but that is Rob Liefeld. Rob would add not just pouches but extra fingers. It's amazing.
All right. Well, you've had your fun, Elliot. So why don't we let Matt Cosson, since he's new here, take a whack at this one.
Oh, Mike, real quick. Before you do that, I don't know if you added it, but the last time I saw your cover, it looked like he was missing his left little gauntlet and with the bone on his hand.
I added it.
Okay, never mind. Carry on.
Oh, I have your permission to carry on, do I?
Carry on.
Which character is that flying?
Matt Cosson. We're waiting for you.
Which character is this?
That's Camilla. That's Camilla Wallace.
Camilla Wallace?
It's the ventriloquist. Andre Leal drew this. He draws lots of crossover stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that looks cool. I like the way it looks. The only critique I would say is just minor. Is maybe on the right foot was his left foot, but on our far right, maybe position it a little bit more towards the right, so it's a little further out because I don't know. It looks a little bit more off balance. Like if it's kind of tucked in a little more too much to the middle. Looking to me, at least, I would make the foot just kind of level, like tilt it out a little bit more so that it's almost straight up and down, like the toe lined up with the side of the calf on the inside. Mm-hmm. Just a little, but just minor. But I like everything else. Looks good.
Looks like we got ourselves a good cop, boys.
I'm just struggling with where there's like the shadow and everything, like him trying to put it on ground because the shadows are all incorrect on the from most of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's what's throwing me off the most is because it's like I want him to be standing on the ground, but because of the shadows and because of where the horizon line is, where he put it, and everything, it makes it feel like they're underneath another, like there should be another line down with the horizon. I can't mark it. You see that?
Yeah, it felt to me like they were in a room.
Well, no, it feels like they're in a room, but like it feels like he put the horizon line way too high.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be a lot lower, and then the shadows would make a lot more sense. But also the shadows need to be correct in the correct spots, because at the moment he has no shadow like underneath him because we can't tell where the light source is.
Like he's floating, yeah.
Exactly, which you can get away with the other guy, and plus that other guy's shadow should actually be shrunk because
he's higher, farther.
Yeah, he's higher. Right? Exactly. So it's just like those are like my nitpicks. Other than his left leg is way too long, because if you're looking at like his pants, where his pants are compared to where his knees are, his left leg is really, really long compared to his right leg.
It looks like they're at completely different angles as well. Like he shouldn't even be. It doesn't even look like he's looking at that guy in the air. It looks like he should be. He's not even like in front of him. It kind of looks like he's like behind his hand. Mm-hmm. Like it looks like he should be way more closer to us.
Maybe if he just shifted his head. Bill's head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Bigfoot Bill supposed to be that tall?
Yeah, he's pretty huge. He's a freaking Bigfoot.
I know, but
maybe not that big, but
that's like 9 feet, man.
But when he's with the agent guy in the book, he's not that much taller than him. So
Asian guy?
The agent.
I was going to say Asian guy. Yeah, man, he's not very tall.
I like drawn and big. But he might not be that big, but I mean. Yeah.
All right. We got another volunteer.
Now
I'm looking through my Bigfoot Bill book.
I'm gonna redraw those feet real quick, see if I can do better. Because honestly, I don't think I can do better. I'm gonna try.
I actually really like how he rendered out the foot on the left. How you can see like the tendons that go up the foot and stuff. That's really cool.
See?
Are we allowed to say nice things?
Technically, no. Mike hates it, but I mean, you can do it.
You got a permit to do whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, our job here is to rip people into shreds. So
proverbial shredded.
Proverbial shredded.
I
Yeah,
really like how clean
he's
it
only
is.
like 6 inches taller than this dude in this one.
I mean, but look at the awesome hand anatomy on Bigfoot Bill.
Why is he so short, Doug?
Well, his thumb's a little small.
Which one?
On the finger, the hand that's
Oh, the
knocking
one
on
that's
his
pointing.
thumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Like
really
his
tiny.
finger's so big, and then his thumb is so small.
I see it. I see that. Well, no.
I think Bigfoot should be like 7 feet tall, right?
Yep.
Doug grew him like
big.
I think you're just generalizing now.
unless Doug's agent is like 6.5 feet tall. I think he drew Bigfoot Bill too short.
Well, he's not 12 feet tall, that's for sure.
That is correct.
Is it just mirrors his right arm, like where his bicep and everything is connecting to his delt and everything? Does it feel like it's like at the wrong angle, like that his arm is like where the shoulder is being shown and where the arm is connecting where the bicep is it should be raised a bit?
I think it's just the coloring.
You think it's that shading that's right there? There's something about it that's like making it look like his bicep is dislocated, like the arm is dislocated, it's hanging down and it's coming out.
Yeah, that's all right.
You mean this one?
Yeah, that right there.
A little line underneath, the black line.
Oh, you mean like farther up?
Yeah, like do that. I wonder if it's just the
that?
shading.
It does
Yeah,
look like his whole right arm is maybe a little bit bigger than
Yeah,
his
that
left
should have
arm.
been erased. Yeah.
Maybe just shrink it down just a little bit.
Shrink the arm or the bicep?
Well, I don't know if you want to do it, but I'm just saying that to Andre. Drew it. But I mean, it's not horrible.
Is that guy's suit sparkly?
Yeah.
Looks that way. He's an ice skater.
I'm
So he can go Mach 5.
I'm drinking now. Get ready.
Oh crap.
Uh-oh.
Get ready, because this ain't funny.
Drink Gatorade. Chamomile tea.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything to say about this? I think this.
Well, come to my.
It's very. I don't know. Stiff. It's all. It's all technically fairly accurate. It's just so stiff, and I mean that just comes from. I don't know. For me, it depends on how your process is. When I was, and I don't know what this person's process is, so I can't say for sure because it's different for different artists. Like, for me, I ultimately started loosening up when I stopped doing thumbnails and I just started drawing directly on the board, right? I told that to Tony Harris at a con. And he's like, I'm the exact opposite. He's like, the more times I draw something, the looser it gets. So I can't tell you what the process is for you to loosen up your characters, and just make them feel more natural and more organic and less stiff. But you've got to try to change something because this is just, it's dull, even if it's technically very proficient, it's just dull. Sorry, I'm throwing up in my throat.
Oh Lord, reflux.
Oh, nice.
Reflux.
Did you guys already comment on the nipple eyes?
No.
Isn't that accurate?
He's got chest eyes. He's got peck eyes, but
We're all about high beams tonight, baby.
A little more like the nipple eyes.
Why does Bigfoot Bill look like Squirrel Girl?
Yeah, his face.
He looks more like a who, actually.
The biggest breakthrough for me in loosening up my characters even more than they were and making them more dynamic is doing the Kim Jung-gi, the Matt Weldon thing. Whereas if you're at a certain level of proficiency, you can just do your layouts without building your figures. Building your figures can stiffen them up.
But I agree with what's his name. The more I draw something, the looser, the better it gets. Like for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, like your buddy.
Yeah. So it's a very subjective thing. I can't tell anybody one way or the other how to loosen up their stuff. But I'm just trying to give you options.
Well, if you look at my screen, I don't know if I don't think I did it real justice, but I tried to draw the feet. I definitely would make that other one a little bit bigger, but yeah, angle it a little bit.
Yeah.
He's only got 3 fingers and a thumb, so he should only have 3 little toes and a big toe.
Oh, he's only got a quattro set?
Yep.
Uh-oh. Weldon has to draw that comic all over again.
Yeah, I'm proverbially effed on the list. All right, you can look away now.
Let me check if Doug screwed up.
Doug?
No, he's got 4 toes.
Hey, look, I'm just gonna overlook what you just said. Let's just carry on.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. 3, 4, 6.
It's hard to, but practice on. It's hard to make feet look actually planted on something, on the ground. But
yeah, it looks a little turned in, doesn't it? The other one.
Play around with
the pinky toes. The pinky toes should be turned in a little bit.
This one?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was trying to just give the perspective.
It looks like he's gripping the ground though. Like he's trying to keep his balance there. That looks cool. I like those hairy feet.
That's what happens when you draw all that stuff. You don't draw structure stuff. You just
yeah, I'm learning all kinds of things tonight.
Let me see that drawing again. Let me see the art.
Yeah.
Let me see that website advertisement. Listen. Why is big? I think who is it? Kevin said this. Why is or Kaz? I don't know who said it. Why is Bigfoot Bill so feminine?
His hair's pointed down. He's a little adolescent. Big Bill.
This is the tank top version.
He's spiked up.
This is the Lumberjanes version.
He's 17 feet tall. He's not adolescent. He's been growing for years. He's like King Kong in the movies. Look,
it's I like his style, like his take on it. It's the artist's take on it. It's fun.
I think it's probably the style. It seems very stylized.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what happens is I think that my issue, you guys were talking about the I was kind of dull and all that kind of stuff. It's funny because I bet this person does not use this part. Like it looks like they're using 3D models, but I don't think they are.
Yeah.
And that's not a good thing. If you look like you're using a 3D model to draw from, and you're not, then that means you're drawing really like dull or flat or stiff or whatever the term you want to use for that. So I think that's the problem. This is the same artist we looked at last time, right?
Yeah.
In this page, yeah.
The comic page.
Yeah. It's. I mean, there's definitely these. You can see knowledge is there's some knowledge that the artist is expressing is artistically. Like you said, Bigfoot Bill, he's competently drawn. But like last time, we had some problems with size relationships, and there's problems with size relationships in this image, which, again, you could argue maybe that's a stylistic choice. There you go. That looks more consistent with what we know about the character. So that's the downside to this, is that if you were just drawing another character, it wouldn't matter. But because you drew this character, the conversation has to happen that there's issues with the size relationships and the context of who that character is in general. But now it looks like he's actually looking at him more, a little bit more. But yeah, I would like to have seen the tentacle in the back, his left tentacle, right? The one right behind his leg a little bit. If it was overlapping his leg, that would have been a better. That would have helped bring some more drama.
I also would have just knocked this out here.
Yeah, it would have brought some more drama to your figure. Like if that leg was in front of that, if the tentacle was wrapping from underneath his arm over his leg, I would have made that move too.
And some foreshortening. Do something. Foreshorten. Bring that tentacle at us or something. Bring us into the drawing.
Right.
Yeah, that's another part of the being just dull.
Yep.
It's like take advantage of the exciting stuff in the piece. I would have done, and I don't know. Maybe
And then you gotta shade that leg. Shade that leg.
Since they're
Shave
both,
the
since they're
leg?
both just standing at
Just
top.
underneath the tentacle on his left calf. No, just shade it underneath. Just a little bit. Yeah, right there.
This.
Yeah. Beautiful.
That was bugging. It was shadow. We need drop shadow.
All right, it's flawless. Print it.
I think because they're just standing and talking, I think facial expression is probably the only thing I would say that could spice it up,
Yeah, he looks just like, I don't know.
Nope. Nobody draws the Bigfoot Bill eyes.
He's NPC.
Yeah.
Because Bigfoot Bill eyes are not. That's Doug to Naples style. That's not.
That's true.
Those are not real eyes. That's a cartoon.
Why not? Oh, I love it.
All right. Anything else? Anyone else have any comments for Bigfoot Billy
Pretty
Bill?
cool. Pretty cool.
All right. Let me see if I've got anything else.
Has anyone tried to read the dialogue in those bubbles?
Nope.
Can he try to explain it to me what he's saying? I have no idea.
Hey, Bill, I made the St. Benedict medal for you. It's for protection.
Now read Bill.
It's the first time I see someone at the wrong height.
You added the.
It's the first time I see someone at.
Well, he's in Brazil. He's Polish.
Okay. He's Polish?
What?
He's Polish in Brazil.
Wow, you went all the way around.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's an awesome guy.
Okay.
Oh my gosh!
If you say so.
He can be two things.
I'm offended.
We have a request. We actually have a request for a piece of art, but the guy didn't do it. Do you think we should?
What? I don't understand.
We have a request for critiquing a piece of art, but the guy who submitted it didn't.
Oh, okay.
Elrod again.
I don't see why not.
You want to do it?
You mean it's not his art?
What?
No, we're not critiquing.
This guy's all messed up.
That shoe. Well,
that anatomy.
What's going on with the shoe?
What's wrong with the shoe?
Why is he wearing a right boot on his left foot?
That's a man meat. That's all I have to say. Look at that.
Have you tried squatting down and balancing like that? Yeah, you stretch your.
He looks
stretch
like
your soles out.
that soldier didn't get. That soldier didn't get in because he was flat-footed. He couldn't get through the.
Yeah.
I love everything about this.
That's an excellent crotch shot.
Why is it exactly we can't tell where he is?
So I was going to ask if I should move that window down a little bit where I can see, because I drew the top of her head and some desks a little bit, but maybe I should move it down.
In the first panel? Yeah. So you really need to kind of work to figure out where he is on the second panel.
I was going to ask that, but
Who
yeah.
wanted us to critique this, Mike? Was it you?
Also, why is the fur of his jacket just riding the edge of that panel border? I don't understand.
Oh yeah, tangent.
Too bad.
That
Tangent. Oh my
good
gosh,
reference.
look at that tangent.
Yeah.
And why is this eye so far over to the right?
And so much smaller than the other one.
Let's try to fix this. Terrible.
Look at the expression on that face. That's why. Look at the expression.
You're not getting the
He's
full
about to kill
picture.
somebody.
It's glass.
Maybe he's like Deadpool and Spider-Man, right? You can make those Deadpool expressions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
You know
screen
what?
isn't real.
I mean, yeah, if you want to get ridiculous.
No, I hate it now. I hate it. This is trash.
No, but in all honesty, I had to read that page a lot of times before I realized what was going on.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
realize
Yeah,
the guy got. I didn't realize the guy got the ninja star in the head.
Well, I
with the
mean,
words.
Zach, let's be fair. Storytelling is not Matthew's strong suit.
Well, I just it was the words. You know how the on the right you can't see it.
Are we
it's
going
got
back to
the
that
words.
P thing?
And why did he? Why exactly does he have shoulder pads in his jacket?
Oh, jeez.
I mean,
Yeah, that shoulder's way high off of his bicep. I don't know.
I love it.
Well,
I love you, Weldon. I'm
suit
sorry.
coats and jackets do that sometimes.
I love it. It works perfectly. It's tightening around the arm as it's lifting like that.
I don't know why we're letting
It
the
lifts and
artist
separates.
explain himself. Why is the artist explaining himself?
No, the artist
This isn't Pencil Jack, all right?
artist is not allowed to explain himself.
All right, hey, let's do an undo and let's see what looks better.
Hey Matt, this picture is actually helping me. I'm doing a shot where a guy's crouching like that, so I'm like using it for reference.
I'm telling you, if I would have drew the foot pointing more towards the character, I mean, it could have worked, but you know.
No, it's good like that.
No, I'm doing the exact same shot here on a page, so I'm actually using your.
Yeah, give that guy some arches.
The crotch angle is nice. It's not gratuitous.
Oh, you know what? I should have drew the.
There we go.
How tall is Lonestar? Why does he have a size 6 shoe?
It might could be bigger.
Like basketball player. His feet look normal. But you want to have clown shoes?
I was gonna say, why does he look like he could be framed for?
Hey, I'm on the JRJR style. I'm on the Deadline style.
Oh, is that what it is now? Okay.
Wow. You got a whole book of excuses there, Weldon?
You're so sinister, all of you.
This is blasphemous.
It's more like a size 3. His foot is smaller than his hand.
Oh my god.
It's perspective.
Yeah, no, the shoe could be bigger. The shoe could be a little bit
Maddie,
bigger.
I'm trying to help you.
I know you are.
Sometimes
you just got to give in to the mob.
No, I will never give it.
Oh my goodness. No.
Much healthier. That's much healthier.
Negative. I'll fix it.
That poor guy that poor guy was born with that.
You just stretched out. You needed to pull it down too.
Trashed it.
Now his arm looks so
He's really
jacked up.
flat-footed
Now he's a monster. This is a mess.
He still needs better
Oh,
arches.
hey.
What? Oh, geez.
Oh crap.
That's the worst part right there. That's the worst offense.
That star sucks.
Oops.
That star. The flag not being there. Mr. I live in Texas.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
There's some points on
That's
that.
a selling point. This guy didn't pull it off. Who's this artist, by the way?
A good
His
mate.
name is
He's a good
Swelden
mate.
McBuffmeister.
Oh.
All right. Anyone else have anything to add?
I
Holy
think
crap.
it was perfectly fine the way that it was. I think it was glorious, and I think you ruined him and turned him into a monster.
Okay,
I'll probably make that shoe a tiny bit bigger, but I'm not going to put a clown shoe on him and make that hand a little bit smaller, but that's it.
And his eyes were fine.
I refuse to accept that shoulder pad. That looks all manner of jacked up now.
His head looks a little small too. No.
I'm just wondering, is that thumb supposed to be behind the zipper?
Kinda, yeah.
But the knuckle is not?
Yeah.
It's too
He's
close.
pulling out the throw star.
Well, first of all, stop talking about pulling anything. Wrong.
He's pulling it out.
Because the thumb, Mike, put your hand like that, and the thumb where the knuckle is way behind where the index finger is.
He's pulling it out of the zipper.
That zipper is super flexible right now.
Mm-hmm.
Super soft.
Uh-huh.
Yes, zipper's big.
It is not.
All right. Look how thin his calves are too. Holy cow!
What? They're flawless. No, I'm not taking no
That guy
guy from
has-
you.
bruh.
Fine.
His legs are molding
That guy
together
has the
like
same
they're
calves
pushing
as my high
together.
school
It's
gym
called
teacher.
tension, Michael. No, you're
You
ruining
don't
it.
want, you don't want shapely
My calves put this dude to shame.
You don't
You're
want
ruining
shapely calves
friendships
on
over
guys.
this, Mike. You're ruining.
No, those are too big now.
That's much better.
What?
No, because it's smashed against his leg.
Yeah.
Which would make it fatter.
No,
I mean,
Hello.
you're not
Depends on the
speaking.
boots.
You're speaking the truth, but I still don't like it.
no, it was right the first. Now his foot's facing the wrong direction. Now you messed it all up.
This drawing makes me want to drink more.
Drink more.
This makes me want to be
Okay. Is there
All right,
anybody
that's
else?
it. I'm getting a mic
Now it
drawing.
looks like he's way too. Now he's too far back now.
It's gonna look like the Incredible Hulk with Mike.
Bring up that Lone Star cover or that Monster
Oh,
Hunter
look at
cover
this.
right now.
This leg is concave.
Bring up
my
that
God.
Monster 2 Hunt cover. Bring it up right now.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
That's what it's supposed
Yeah,
to
that
be.
new cover sucks.
No, you don't make it round.
Why do you make it say concave, bro?
On that angle, it is. It's supposed to be on that angle because it's underneath
What?
shot. Yeah, underneath shot.
What?
Those the
Well,
gravity.
the only
muscles.
reason his other leg looks smaller now is because you made that other leg so freaking massive.
Mike, it's like you don't even know anatomy.
What?
Bring
Are you
up-
nuts?
Bring
Yeah,
up the cover.
it's like a bean shape on a leg when it's upside on the underneath.
Now go undo and let's see what it looks like. Go back and forth. Go back and forth.
He's not drawing on a layer. Whoa, that's not the same guy.
There we
No.
go.
I didn't.
All you have to do is go back to the history all the way to the beginning.
I don't want to just do that.
Of course you don't. All right, now go back and forth.
Is that Ninja Star right?
Just keep hitting Control Z. There you go. There you go.
No, it sucks.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I see some improvements.
Ruined.
Oh my gosh, you turned his foot all kinds of jacked.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's faced the wrong way now.
At least he has arches. Can't even join the army without arches.
No, I like it better with his cap smashed into his thigh.
Do what the audience thinks.
Original recipe or Mike?
Good night, Don Chen. Yeah, can we get a 1 for Weldon's original?
All right, I gotta see this.
Formed Lonestar. Wait, where's the original? Is that the original? That's the original. Or a 2 for the better version, illustrated.
The better.
2 for the one where he's actually not skipped leg day for 20 years.
I could probably move that belt up a little bit.
Siege, you're not allowed to vote, and you're not allowed to vote twice.
Hold on, let me see this chat. Hold on, I gotta get to YouTube.
You're not allowed to vote 3 times either, Siege.
Oh, there's more than 3. Look at all those ones.
2 has clown shoes.
That was just a quick adjustment in Photoshop.
Whoa, I see lots of Unos.
Those are all ones.
Whoa, what's an 8?
That's 4. That's 2 times 4.
I think I came out on top on this one.
For sure.
Well, that's why I have to teach these people.
That's all right, Kung Flu Kitty. I appreciate it. I mean, there's some valid points, but you know what time it is.
Time to get funky.
Maybe I should wait for you to ink your drawing, and then I'll destroy
it. Does it have to be that drawing? I've got plenty. You guys want to go? You want to throw down?
I can't believe I forgot the flag.
I know, right? Jeez. Rayfu says it does look like the boots are on the wrong feet.
Yeah, but try to bend down like that.
Andrew Hayes says, sorry, Matt Weldon, but you need to do some work.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, there's always work to be done.
Says that concave leg is bugging me.
Sideshow Bob.
Mike needs to work on that new cover. That's all I'm saying.
Rhaegar asks, is Lonestar drunk in this panel?
All right, I guess I'm disqualified from this panel then. I've been proven to be uncredible.
Oh, Maddie. All right, let's I just want to point out that I asked you if we should do this, and you said yes.
You know what? If I hadn't gotten an awesome DM message right before this stream, I might be a little on the hurt side, but I'm all right.
Okay, I actually gotta go though.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright. I'll
It's
see
like
you
3 in the morning.
guys later.
Okay.
Thanks for backing me up, Siege.
Yeah, anytime, Maddie.
See you, Siege.
Night.
Good night.
Good night, Siege.
Later.
All right. Can we get a little critique going on this one? Kevin, are you around?
Yes, sir. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. Here we go, good cop. Do your thing.
I just want to say one last thing. I don't appreciate.
brother.
I'm just saying I don't appreciate your ruse, Mike, when your way you framed your question.
Was it a ruse? How dare you?
All right, let's do this.
And I do want to point out that you're the only one who answered that question.
I know. I set myself. I do that to myself at times.
Are we ready? Am I going now?
Kevin.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't really like the super extreme Dutch angle there. Sometimes you can go too far with it, you know.
The what?
How's it turned? The frame is turned. The Dutch angle.
The extreme tilt on the picture.
Mike died.
Yeah, Mike went away, so I can't look at the artwork.
Sorry.
He's back.
There we go. I was trying to fix your angle and I hit R and it backed me out of the stream.
And then looking at the artwork, again, it's got a similar problem like the Freddy and Jason one, where you get that, here we're going to use the smudging and the thumb thing, which isn't necessarily bad. Like modern scanners can handle that now, and you can do that more than you could back in the day. But just it makes it look a little sloppy by doing the little smudge thing. And it's a decent figure. I'm wondering whether or not it was photo referenced from what I'm looking at.
Here it is.
Yeah, and so I'd have to see the photo to make some really strong judgments on it. From what the lines that Mike's throwing down, it looks like it's in line with the horizon well enough. Anyway, he's a little tilted over, like he looks like he's going to. His leg stepping looks like he might fall over a little bit, but nothing too egregious. And I don't know. I just look at it and I see it's one of those things where I would, if they brought it to me at a convention, I would tell them just keep working, keep drawing from life, and keep strengthening up some of the fundamentals that you see in trying to draw from this photograph or whatever. And that's pretty much it.
Anyone else want to volunteer before I just pick a sensei?
Go Zach.
Oh, okay. Like what Kevin said, but also, if it was from a reference, again, trying to make sure that you have your proportions and everything correctly, because right now he's a banana, and his head tilts in that shape. Like if you squint, you can see that, like from the tip of his head all the way down to his right foot, he's a banana. And most of the time you can fix that if you can flip your image to see. So if you're doing traditional looking, you take it to a mirror, because you'll instantly see like the little mistakes that you're making in that way to correct those. Because also his center of balance and gravity and everything is really, and it's partially probably has to do with the fact that you decided to do it at such an extreme angle on the page. It kind of looks like that you started off and then just kept leaning it because of the angle. So, try not to do that, but also pay attention to like objects and everything that they're holding. Because right now that gun, it's tucked under his right. But as it comes out, the perspective starts to change and starts to bend. And by the time it gets out to the barrel, it's actually pointing in the other direction. We should be able to see inside the barrel a little bit. And so it's like your gun is like, it's bending around him it starts off down here and it starts going and it starts bending over. So you just got to pay attention to the perspective of things. And yeah, that's where I'm going to go with that one.
Anyone else?
I think he has Matt Weldonitis, the weird small foot.
Tiny foot. It's a tiny foot. But...
no, I'm just kidding, Matt. All the things that Kevin said, all the things that Zach said, and I think what Mike's about to say, I'm not going to steal it from him, but I think by drawing on that angle, you may have thought he was at the right. He was balanced. If you had drawn it straight, you might have seen the issue with his balance a little easier. And I actually like the drawing. Is this the same person that did the boss last time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Kevin's got the right point. This is this is further along than a pure beginner. I see some strength in some of the choices you made in shading. That's kind of cool. But there are those weird problems. Also, think about how you would hold a barrel of or the under part of a weapon.
Yeah.
You don't grip it like you're for life. There's a natural, way your fingers lay across the bottom. So that's what makes me think it's not off of a reference, because those choices seem like a misunderstanding of an anatomical and structural precepts, but that just seems weird. That he should hold it like you cradled it, not grip it. Nobody grips anything that tight. You're gonna break it. So anyway, that's a little tip for you.
Feels like it's modeled from a toy.
Well,
possibly.
Maybe that's how maybe there's a little rail down there he's gripping. I don't know is this Star Wars stuff? Is this
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is, put that index finger either up on the trigger guard or in the trigger guard, and work on your hand anatomy. The right arm looks like it's legit, while the left arm looks like it's very tiny, and it looks like there's not really an elbow or a forearm.
Yeah.
Looks like it's a little short. Just, get the proportions from one side to the other.
It looks like he just he's got no left arm. He just stuffed his left sleeve with newspapers and put a glove on it and taped it to the front of his gun, so it looks like he knows he can carry his gun around. To me it's weird because you saw me pointing it out with the balance thing here. It's like he's in motion, but nothing about him other than his posture conveys that he's in motion.
Draw a little dust up, under his feet or something.
Well, no, I mean, look, because if you're
his upper body
going one direction, his upper body is giving no indication. His upper body looks like he's standing perfectly still.
Yeah.
Lower body looks like he's about to start, or he's in the middle of a run or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's looking at reference to do this, which it seems like he is. I don't know what the reference was saying, so it's kind of difficult for me to explain. Same thing again with making things interesting. Every part that's part of the design part of drawing is trying to make sure that every element of the illustration is interesting and fun to look at. The wrinkles on those sleeves they may be practical, but they're hella boring. Kind of same thing with the monotone rendering on his bouffant, what is that thing? Turban? I don't know what the heck he's wearing. I never liked this guy. I always thought this was one of the worst design characters in Star Wars. So
his headgear,
and yeah, Zach was right. You have the butt of the gun facing one direction and then the barrel facing another. So that's interesting conundrum you got there for your character. Unless he's got some fancy, butt.
Barrel bending.
I mean, it may be the picture. I mean, I don't know. The picture. He's taking a picture of this, right? Or did he scan this? Can't tell.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. The illustration is the illustration.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're saying.
So, anything else? Anyone?
It looks like that little blaster's handle is like tiny on his leg.
Yes. Maybe it's a Derringer.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, no, just nitpicking.
Think
Just
about
nitpicking.
that, Weldon.
Well done. Well done.
All right, open original. All right, then let us move along.
Wow, Mike, you put more time into pushing that button.
What are you talking about? How about this button?
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh.
Oh, snap.
Ah.
She's not hurting for a meal. She's not living off mice.
All right, we'll start. We'll start this time with Sweldon McBuffmeister.
Oh,
Really
crap.
need to fix your name, dude.
What? Wait, are you? No, you don't have to fix that. Let me see. Give me
Are we
a
gonna
second.
stick with Sweldon?
Give me a second to take this in. I like the wind. Can you zoom out a little bit?
Why?
Oh, there we go.
Just
It
the
looks like
frame.
it just looks like you were cutting a little bit off. Because that is a window. I see it now. Pretty awesome.
You actually raised a good point, actually.
Let's see. I mean, yeah, she's hunched over. I don't like the line of the hunch. I mean, she's got a jacked up back. I mean, it could work. I want to see fingernails. On a drawing, I guess those are little pops, not little skeleton hands coming out of the suit.
Oh, I thought they were skeleton hands.
I'm guessing they're pops. I don't really know.
It's
She's
definitely a card.
I like how she's stirring it, man. Her garb is all ripped up. I like the hair.
Oh, this is a card. Okay.
What? It's what? Oh, it's a
It's a
card.
card.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen you like try to make your back shelving and the window a little more 3D. Put some lines, there to add that effect. If that makes sense. It just looks like the background's flat. But I mean, that's all I can see right off the bat. I might come up with something a little bit later. Mike is right.
Elliot?
All right. So, now that you said that Kevin suggested it was a card, and I see the relationship, I was like, why is that signature so large? Because it's a card. All right. And usually in cards, I've done it too. We push the art to the edges. I would suggest in the future, I mean, it's hard to say for a card, but the reason why you don't want to push the art to the edges, like you have, like going full bleed, is because you're writing all these tangents now. Like the edge of a book is now part of the edge of the card. The edge of a jar is now part of the edge of the card. And so it actually works against the depth of your art versus kind of making it look like it's really a 3D space. It would have been better maybe to add like a dark shadow around the edge to kind of like vignette it, or don't draw to the edge, or leave some let some of the image dissipate and disintegrate to the edge. That's just a general depth and drawing illustration issue. Now, because looking at the edge of the skull, it's like the cheek and the edge of the dome is right up against the edge of the card. That's a bunch of weird things that's creating. Also, because everything is so straight, like in perfect 1 point perspective type of thing. Your what's it called, the pot, or what's it called,
Yeah, it doesn't look like
it's crooked, right?
The cauldron
is a little bit tilted. The mouse, which should be dangling and hanging from her finger, looks like it's like it's a solid object. Maybe it is frozen, I don't know, but it looks like it's got some issues there. The weird hump on her back, it looks like it's supposed to go further out past her hat and doesn't. So I might have just either curved it down just to keep the roundness of the character, the silhouette. And I also her breast area, she doesn't seem to have that much going on to have that much of a fold, that kind of fold underneath. So that's like a weird thing there. And the hand holding the straw that she's using to stir the pot, it looks like she's holding it in a different, like she should be holding it like this versus like this. So because it looks like it's not like it doesn't look like she's holding it right. It looks like it's stabbing her through the palm and coming out the back of her hand. So little things like that. But overall, it's a cool drawing. The drawing, the face is cool. I get that she's kind of a humpbacked witch. She does seem a little short against that cauldron. If the cauldron is as short, even perspective wise, to the bottom shelf of that thing, if it's like the first or second shelf there, then she, I don't know, she just seems like she's really tiny. Everything seems weird like that, but cool, if that helps.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to criticize this. It's primarily because the things that I have issues with could vary. I mean, yeah, that left hand is jacked, and you're right. Everything you said was accurate, Elliot. But this is 2.5 by 3.5 inches, and sometimes when you're drawing stuff like that, it's just we're blowing it up to the full size of the screen and trying to nitpick. So
let me go measure my Lonestar drawing real quick.
But then don't put it up for critique if you don't like if it's again, if the person, if
I didn't realize it was a card.
Yeah.
So it was when you said that, I just thought it was something in a frame.
I'm just judging it now on its merits. That's all.
Yeah. But no, I agree with your merits. I just don't want to add to it.
I'll wait for everybody else to finish, but I got a couple other little things.
Oh, I thought that was Kevin. Kevin, did you have anything to add?
No. Everything seems to be pretty much on point. I know from doing cards myself that my proportions can easily go wonky. Like I'll draw a head way too big, and it'll just it'll never hit me. And then sometimes my proportion will be fine, and it's really tough when you get that small. So everything could be just because of getting down that small and paying attention. And Elliot had a great, really like that Elliot pointed out the fact that when it runs to the edges and you've got perfectly parallel lines going out to the edges and stuff. When it runs up against the edges, it creates all these weird tangents and cuts the books off. And so it's great. Everything you guys said is great.
Anyone else besides Weldon before we let Weldon wrap this one?
Zach, did you say anything?
No, I didn't. But basically everything I had to say was what Elliot already said, like the tangents on the edges and the hand and the perspective of the cauldron and the hump. And the only other thing I would point out is like little things like rendering, but as like if it's a card, that's really difficult to do that kind of stuff. And so I mean, like working that small with ink wash and whatnot, it's very unforgiving. So you know what I mean? So it's like there's nothing really I can point out other than like that skull is freaking me out because it feels like it's leaning on the edge of the card and it's causing like such an uncomfortable tangent that I'm like, just can't stop.
Hey guys, in the audience, for future reference, not only try to give us your best pieces. There's no point in us giving. Don't give us stuff that's 5 years old and stuff that what's already wrong with it. We're trying to help you grow, so we need to see your newest, best stuff, so that we can correct what you still need to work on. So please, and by best stuff, I don't mean 2.5 by 3.5 inch trading cards. It's just that's why it's not that it's mercy. It's just that I can't. you know, it's a trading card, so I can't. But Weldon can.
Well, okay, so I'm just like I do try to focus a lot on the clothes and stuff like that. So the way her gown or whatever you want to call it flares out at the back, you should lower that because I don't know why it's getting caught in the wind like that. Lower it and make it look like it's draping out over the ground. Also, I'd like to see the back of her hat line up with the back of her head, and the way you dropped the back rim of the hat way down below her neck, between her neck and her hunch. It doesn't really work for me, but
well, hey, maybe it's just really hard for her to wear a hat, and so she like folds the back of it.
It's not the
damn hump.
It's not horrible.
Life is hard for hunchbacks, Weldon.
Just line up because the front of the hat looks like it's. I mean, the front of the hat it looks like it's going way over the front of her head, which is not. That's why I didn't say much about it. But the back doesn't really look like it lines up with the back of her hair. Anyways.
All right, we're at 3 hours. I was gonna wrap it at 3, but I do want Vic posted something in the Discord, and so excuse me while I look this up.
Is that pretty much it, or is there more stuff?
I'm just gonna do Vic's, and then we're gonna call it.
But there is more because I want to go look.
Cool.
I don't think there's more that I've seen. Unless I missed something, but here's Vic.
That's awesome.
Oh crap, corn pop.
Corn pop is a bad man. He's a bad dude.
He was a bad man. So Matt Cosson, why don't you take the reins on this bad boy?
I like the messaging, and I like the art. It's awesome. I like that character's always freaky looking. I always like the way it looks. That the scars and everything on his face. So yeah. So the only thing I would say was the face looks great. The body looks good, but I would just make his body bigger, bulkier, kind of like enlarge the body a little bit. That's all I would say. But also the lines in the back where it's just like lines. I'm not sure what those are on the back. Is like the background, like rocks, mountain face.
Yeah. That's what I guess.
Yeah, I would probably like I can see where it kind of droops down underneath. Like it's kind of right lined up with the armor. You want to kind of like not. It's kind of more of almost a tangent type thing. I would kind of have it go across more. But no, I think it. Yeah, just the body would be the main thing. I think that is cool. I like that rendering on there. Nice,
Kevin.
Soft.
Yes, sir.
Anything?
The problem, I don't know. Like the head's too big, maybe. Well, it is. The head's too big, but the. I mean, it's nice. You could definitely tell what he's going for, and the reference. I'm gonna lean heavily on that he was using photo reference, and it looks good. It's got a little bit of that smudgy thing going. That you see a lot of, younger or novice artists do. Some people can control it and make it look good. He looks like he's got good control for the smudging and all that stuff. So, it looks like he's been doing it and he's got a good grasp of what he's doing. Just like I said, it looks, he's got a good understanding and he's looking, it appears to be from a photo reference. So all I'd say is just keep doing what he's doing. Fill up his sketchbooks, do the life drawing and things from photographs, and just pay attention to your proportions and how big the head is compared in relationship to the shoulders. See, that's the thing about a lot of times with proportions. If you compare, especially if you're looking at photos, if you compare it, like look at the size of the head, where the head is in relation to the shoulders in the photograph. How far does the shoulder go out? How far is it, how far apart are the eyes in relation to the nose? Things like that. So there you go.
Because I'll have self-portrait confirmed, I guess.
All right, next.
I really like it because the proportions are really well done. You know what I mean? It's like the first thing that it's a good, when I was talking earlier, it's a good skeleton to start building upon. And my big thing would actually be practicing a lot of rendering, specific on different textures and whatnot.
Oh yeah, bring it in.
You know what I mean? So, and also experiment with different lead types. You going from like a H6 all the way to like a B8, you know, and learning how to render using that technique. Because what you can do is you can get some really great pop of light and really make those shadows contrast by doing that. And because it looks like you're well on your way to doing all that stuff. And also A+ for the message. A+. So, but I really like the proportions.
This dude's name is Orc Pop.
Orc Pop.
Yeah. Vic critiques himself, says, I think the unfinished shading in the body armor made the head look big. That would be my thing it's incomplete, which Nope's jerkmonger out of even critiquing, even though he was next.
Does it?
Yep. I won't if it's not finished. It's
Won't
unfinished.
critique finished pieces. All right, Sweldon, you got anything?
Just move that that mountain over. It's messing with his armor point. I think his left eye is a little too far out there, and I think his mouth is stretched a little too far off to our left, his right. Yeah, raise those shoulders up, beef them out, reference some Mecha McCheese. Very much.
All right, now I'm not gonna bother Vic. Finish short. Because I'm lying. I am gonna do one more thing. Eden wants us to critique her elong.
How could you ask? How could you ask us of this?
Oh no!
Oh my god!
So we're gonna start with Elliot. Go ahead and rip Eden to shreds.
Uh-oh. This is a family show.
You should draw a rock going right through the window or something like that.
Is that supposed to be his left hand?
That is a right hand.
On his left side?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
It's really long.
You're saying that as if his neck is not 12 inches long.
Well,
oh well.
That's another problem, but
he's an alien. I knew it.
It's interesting. It's interesting abstract art.
Surreal.
Yeah, surreal.
I mean,
that is nice.
Or surreal.
No, so what's surreal is that car is more surreal. It's like, what kind of car design is that? That is crazy. But that's what I know. That's the actual design. But
is he gonna eat that car?
He's
Is that a car sandwich?
like Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's jacked up.
It's like gain its power.
That's so scary.
That's awesome. What is that? Is that gouache or is that
It's acrylic.
acrylic? Okay.
Acrylics.
Cool. Nice.
All right,
Very
Matt,
nice.
since you're stepping up, go ahead.
I like it. It's awesome looking.
We
That
don't
smile.
compliment on this show. Thank you very much.
Okay, the hand's freaky looking. The ET hands. And so is his long neck. That's cool though, man. Seriously. That looks awesome. Was that for why did you give him the long neck and the long fingers?
His name is Elong.
Okay,
Oh,
no, I was
yeah,
having a sleepover with one of my friends, and we were like coming up. We wanted to do paintings together, and then we were coming up with stuff. And then she said, "Elongated musk." For some reason, I don't even remember why. And I was like, "Oh, I have to paint that."
Elongated musk. That's good. That is cool.
All right, Kevin, got anything to add?
Okay. I think it's cool because it's got like this weird kind of like when you look at it and you see the hand and you realize the hand's on the other side. It's like she meant to do that, and yet it's like really surreal. And then there's another element of the painting I won't comment on, but
We don't want to hear excuses.
the neck is very well rendered and almost a little too rendered for my taste.
It looks too lifelike.
No, it's got a Phil Hale to it.
There's
You know who
definitely
Phil Hale
shapes
is?
there. And the face is fantastic, Eden. Absolutely
We
fantastic.
do not compliment.
Yeah,
on
Phil
the
Hale.
show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know me. You got me on here. You know I'm the good guy anyway.
Good
So,
cop. One good
Yep.
cop.
Two good
Yeah.
caps.
I would say there's the only critique I would have to critique it on. I can't say on air. So I think it's awesome.
All right, moving on. Zach, what?
My only thing is that I think his eyes are slightly crooked, but I have no idea if he's like that in real life, though. He might
Probably
have
not
like
that
one
much,
eye
or
over the.
we
like
didn't
Shannon
notice
Doherty.
by now if his eyes were Shannon Doherty crooked.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the only thing, but I think the rendering is awesome. It's got a very Phil Hale look to it. If you don't know who he is, you look him up. But it's just got this really organic, really kind of I don't know how to say it, like a contortionist sort of feel to it. You know, that sort of fleshy contortion, and I love especially under his chin. That's actually like my favorite spot, that shading and the shadowing and everything he did underneath there. And that's what brings up the weird contortion-y fleshy look.
Yeah, I like these cheeks.
I think I was really interested in J.C. Leyendecker.
Oh, okay.
This-
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
This kind of looks more like something I would see in The Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweldon.
Yeah, no, that right eye is an easy fix in Photoshop. Just move. I would have just liked to have seen. So I see that you did the Adam's apple bulge. You lowered that, but the rest of it. I mean, maybe that's what you were wanting to do, but I would like to have seen like a couple of like lines where the neck muscles go down. Maybe just a slight hint of them, a little bit too, but. I would have maybe liked to have seen a little bit of hair or a neck lining up with the hairline above his ear coming below his earlobe, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit there maybe. And then it looks like he's got a little bit of a runny nose with the little white lines there. It's like nitpicky, but maybe put a little bit of shadow under his thumb on the car. Simple little stuff like that. I don't know, but I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the eyes are crooked. The nose and the teeth do not line up, so one of those is off. The neck is completely flat.
But you
have all this great. Hey, it's my turn.
Oh, sorry.
You have all this great rendering on the face and on the car, but when you get to the neck, you had to make it up, but you didn't seem to know what. You should have referenced the neck and then somehow. Well, it's not just the hands are dark. The hands are also flat. You have all this rendering. You have these highlights, and you have no highlights on the finger except on the very tip of the fingers.
Reference for the face.
It's
right.
flawless.
Well, you could have extrapolated the lighting from the face onto the hand. That thumb should have a nice bright highlight on the fingertips. The fingers behind the truck are fine if they're dark, but that thumb should come forward. At this point, it's so dark it actually recedes from the face, so it almost looks like it's behind him.
Yeah.
So that's probably about.
There's no telling where that hand has been down there.
This looks like a weird gash.
I love that. I love it.
Or something.
I love it.
It just, I get it because it's underlit, and he was probably wearing a white shirt, and that was a highlight. But then when you drop the darkness underneath it, it just makes it look like this disgusting red lump growing out of his neck.
I like it.
Well, your comment about the teeth being not centered with the nose, my teeth aren't centered, and that's just normal.
Centered.
I don't have a
Mine
problem
normal.
with that.
His mouth isn't centered with the nose.
The only reason.
Did you mean the teeth?
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks maybe because he's got his nose.
He's got the Tom Cruise thing going on with the
The
nose.
only reason it looks
Yeah,
like that
so do I. So
is because
what's the big
the
deal?
lips.
Yeah.
That's because you have a
You want to
defect.
zoom in?
You have a defect.
Zoom in. You mean move it closer?
No, I was
Oh,
talking
there you
about
go,
me.
there
You
you
want
go.
to zoom into me?
Dang, that's kind
Yeah,
of cool.
nice. I like the brush strokes.
I mean, it looks just
Yeah.
like him.
It does.
It does. It really does. It's a great.
Good
The
likeness.
face is modeled really well.
The nose is probably the hardest thing to like paint and render because, man, when I first started painting, I was like, "What the heck? Come on!" So
Yeah,
like,
I think the rendering on the hair is pretty lazy too. So
Yeah.
that's a problem. Using white highlights, it's really tricky with paint because
So
it
it's
can
high
really
textured canvas.
yeah.
It's hard to work with.
Okay, and I painted most of it
And if
during
you guys
a
know, this is a
sleepover.
critique show.
During a sleepover, and then like a couple days, maybe a week or so later, I went back and finished it. But you can tell, like, so I made like smudges. They were like smudges of paint all over like the background area. So I kind of painted over it, but the color I used wasn't exactly the same. So you
Yeah, that's tricky
it's
too.
kind of patchy.
That's cool though.
It's almost impossible to match acrylic if you're mixing after the fact.
I like the paragraph Eden uses for her signature.
Yeah. Eden Miller, 2019.
2019.
All right, and that is a wrap for Critique Night. No mercy. I guess there was a little mercy this week, which is out of character for me, but I should not have started with the wine. I should have started with the coffee because that would have like, that's so terrible. Joe says, "Hey, I thought that artists weren't allowed to defend themselves." Exactly.
It's reflex.
I think it
You should
works.
have watched from the other room. You should have watched from somewhere.
I never watch your shows.
Oh man, that was a little spiteful there.
Anyways, thank you all for being here. Anybody got something they want to pimp before I pimp my stuff? Where's my...
Whatever you do, don't go back Monster Hunt 2. It sucks. The art sucks.
Oh man.
Oh no.
Wow.
No, the art is fantastic. The feet suck.
I'm just kidding. I just wanted to know what it was like to be that guy. I want to know what it was like.
If you want to sign up for Lone Star 2 Lone Star 3 or Monster Hunt 2, get to LoneStarComic.com. I'm just going to be using the one mailing list this time around, so you'll get your goodies. You'll get your email list.
For Shadow of the Conqueror 2 or no?
No. Shadow of the Conqueror. The links for both of these are in the description. If you have not signed up for Shadow of the Conqueror yet, again, great book by Shad M. Brooks from Shadiversity. I did the adaptation. Some really fun work. You can watch a few of the shows of me drawing it over the past 4 or 5 months on a playlist at the top of my page. It's gonna be a great book. I don't want to do the whole pitch again. I don't know what's the easier pitch. Where was it? There's a pitch on here. Dalen, once known as the Great Bastard, the scourge of nations, Dalus the Conqueror, has lived in hiding since his presumed death. Unbeknownst to him, he's about to embark on a journey towards redemption, where his ruthless abilities might save the world. And so it is a great, epic, sort of, kind of steampunky, not quite fantasy, sort of superpowers, but, like in the 16th century setting. It's really cool. A lot of epic stuff. Jalapeno Milk, it's not Hitler is redeemed, but, something like that. And then, of course, Lone Star, if you've read 1 and 2, you're going to want 3. If you haven't read 1 or 2 yet, then get 3 with 1 and 2. Sign up for both of those. They're in the description. Go on down. And anyone else have something they want? Let's start with Swelden McBuff Muffins, whatever your name is.
You guys,
Oops, I took him out.
go check out Go check out Doug Ernst's channel. The heck is it called? Oh crap. Oh my gosh, Soul Finder 2. Wait, is it Soul Finder?
Yeah, the problem is you can't just go to Doug Ernst. Email Doug Ernst at dougernst.com to be put on his mailing list because he doesn't have a mailing list yet. He was on my show today.
The art is long done. It's just being colored. So whenever the campaign launches, like there's going to be hardly any time before, by the time or in between the time the campaign ends and the books are shipped out. So check out Soul Finder 2 by Doug Ernst. Go check him out on his YouTube channel, and look for me over on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at Weldon Art.
Righty. Yeah, Doug was on the channel earlier showing some of your wonderful artwork. All of your characters had the right proportions and the right size feet on the right legs. Jerkmonger.
There you go.
There you have it.
You can follow Elliot at Jerkmonger Art on Instagram.
Don't do that. That's not good.
But don't. You could also back Doom Kicker at Indiegogo. Doom Kicker.
Don't do that either. No.
Don't do that either. Zach, what?
Zach Beard. You can find me on Twitter, and Golma's out in the wild. It's crazy. You should be getting your copy if you haven't already within the next week or two. And yeah, that's it.
All right, the Kevrog.
Hey! You can catch me at KevHulk73 on Twitter, KevHulk73 on Instagram. Check me out. I've got this little fantasy book called Dragon Guard on Indiegogo, and there you go.
Dang, look at that piece, man.
That was
I'm
awesome,
telling you, Kevin, and if I had time, I would volunteer to ink that for you.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I know. Cool. I've gotten. I picked up those Maru mapping nibs, and I'm still trying to get the hang of it. And my lines, I can't get my lines as thin as what I'm doing here.
What?
Yeah. I'm
getting a way thinner line.
G2.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Shut up, Will.
I don't know if I'm just too heavy-handed or my ink's too thick.
The ink might be too thick.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. And so I don't want to experiment on the page, and so I'm on the side. I'm trying to get better with the nib before I apply it to the page. So I'm still using pins right now.
Kevin, that is a hard clenched fist on the right side. You better release that pinky.
Yeah, I know. Anyway,
some people never learn. Anyways, back Kevin. Matt Cossin.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram under Matt Cossin. Put a period after Matt, and then Matt.Cossin on Instagram and Twitter. And on YouTube as well. You can find me YouTube. And I will be posting up some videos. I'm working on some videos now. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Showing your art takes guts to put yourself out there, but it's a good way of getting yourself to improve.
Absolutely. This is Mike Miller. This is my channel. If you're here, I hope you're subscribed. If you're not, do it right now. Hit that button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification button. And draw something. Take the week. Take some time this week. Do something epic. And then next Saturday, post it on one of the shows so we can tear it to little tiny pieces. No, I really want to encourage everybody. Take what we say here. Don't take it with a grain of salt. Take it as constructive criticism. We're here to make better artists out of each other and out of you. And we're not just doing this. Look, I got so much stuff to do. Taking this time out of the week to do this ain't doing it for me. I'm not get what I get $2 in super chats. It's not about right. This is about helping artists grow as artists. And all of these fantastic artists, and Siege, and who else was here that left earlier?
Nobody.
Somebody was. But anyways, and the artists, the professionals that come here and spend their time to help build you up by breaking you down to the basics and letting you understand what needs to happen for your work to get to the next level. That's why we're here. That's why we're going to keep doing this. I hope you appreciate it. We love you guys for being here. God bless you all and have a great weekend. Say bye, everybody.
Adios.
Bye. See you guys.
Have a great weekend.